to deal with the media. I'm not saying she's perfect. I'm not even saying everything she did was right, although some stuff I think she got a bad rap for. To me, it's just when I look on the internet, I hear people acting like she's a gold digger. She's trying to bring him down. She's trying to embarrass. It's like the worst motives get attached to her, and I think
But
we
that's
need.
well, I don't know about the gold digger part, but it is embarrassing, and you have to blame him as well. I don't know what type of simp KB has. I do blame him as well because
Why
he's
gotta be a
making,
simp though?
because he's making a lot of excuses for trash behavior. It's trash behavior. It's embarrassing. Black, your mom is there. Imagine what his mom is saying to him. Like she's supposed to be a representation of you. You know what I mean? Act accordingly, regardless. When the cameras is there, we let you get away with the first one. When the second, third, fourth times now, your behavior is unexcusable. We can't keep giving you a pass on your behavior. It's intentional. You just, huh? I'm gonna keep giving him a pass because it's like it's one of those things. Not when you're getting high, getting all
Hey
that
y'all,
shit.
okay, I switched to the iPhone so that I won't have this issue. And this is actually the reason I ended up buying an iPhone, is because I am so sick of my lives just like going, like they pausing or going away. And I think it has to do with my storage on my Android, which I don't know. This Android is like over 2 years old, so that makes it a dinosaur. So at any rate, I wanted to go live because TikTok told me so. TikTok told me that my videos were going viral, so it told me I should go live. I sat on a live last night with this creator called Blend and Bloom, and she was just talking about ways that you could um, increase your engagement, increase your followers, and and thereby increasing your monetization and money, because that's what some of us want to do on here. And that's exactly what I want to do. I want to make some money on here. So I am a part of the Creator Fund. I get offers to collaborate. So companies will send me free samples and I promote them. So if you go and look at my hundreds of videos, you'll see me promoting products. You'll see me promoting products from free samples, but you'll also see me promoting products from things that I just spent my own money on. So who wants to come up? I had somebody on the previous live. I had somebody on the previous live want to come up. So who wants to come up and just chit chat for a little bit?
I think they got a ring and a baby in it. How embarrassing it is for a girl to go online and say, yo, this nigga dropped me off the parties and waited outside for me to finish partying. What the bitch, was you crazy? Yeah, you trying to play my man. Yeah. Like, just go away somewhere. It ain't about you right now. You might not be a good one, but
Hi.
too much. They got a PRC for her. But you seen her for the wrong reason. You keep seeing her because she keeps saying stupid shit. True. Yeah. She just needs to move out of the media eye for like I agree. I agree to that.
Don't say nothing.
Yeah. We not here for you, yo. We not here for you. You come along, you the plus one.
Let me see.
Right? Hey, yo, there's a lot of girls. Hey, yo, what's Travis' name? Travis. Travis, a lot of girls out there, the OGs out there, think those starlets and want to get one of them that know how to hold it down and treat you right and can play their position. I mean, think about it, though. He's got Deion Sanders to give him game. Right. You would think that he's aware of what he's doing. I think they got bigger fish to fry right now. Like, Deion should be thinking about draft position only. True. Yeah. We'll get to your love life later. We got much time. I'll be doing shit that you could never experience. Doing the twirl. Watch me spin in real time. Man, I'm cold sleep.
So I want to get on and talk about what was your experience going live. If you went live for the first time yesterday or today, what was your experience going live? So if you want to come up and just chit chat real quick, that is fine with me. All right, let me see. I was trying to order
Like that's the thing. Like women like that,
some
like
food.
like if he's a Heisman Trophy, and that's what the internet is getting at, right? That you only fuck with him because he's a star. You only fuck with
Let
him
me
because
see.
he's elite, and you gonna take his money.
DoorDash was having an issue earlier.
That's just
She's rubbing it in our faces. Like she's like she's denying it. She's not.
Let me see if I can order it now.
What the magnitude of what she's saying
That's
and how bad it sounds.
Hey.
I truly think that she has no clue until it's out and everybody is fucking crucifying her.
That's why Ross.
Finally, I don't know what was happening, y'all. Are y'all experiencing issues with DoorDash? I just tried to.
We just told your dumb ass a week ago
Wait a minute.
he would be out of here in a second. Ross asked
What is going on with DoorDash?
Higher slow fire for us, right?
the boyfriend experience. Go there, sleep some lady off the feet for a couple weeks, and then
send it back home.
DoorDash is doing something crazy right now. I was trying to order some food.
but prayers, thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers.
And also congratulations.
Yeah, for sure.
What is the problem? I was having problems earlier.
Yeah, everybody's congratulating him, with the exception of Ashton Jensen.
Who was that?
The running back that came pretty close to winning it as well. From I want to say Boise.
All right, I guess I'm gonna have to order from some other place. Hey,
That publicly, but this would have been the first time in a long time that a running back won the Heisman, if not for Travis, but he was back.
Who was the last one? Who's the last one? Was it Ricky Williams?
Man.
I think it was pretty good.
Hell no.
this is crazy.
It could be the Dolphins. One of the Dolphins. I'd never.
I have been trying to order something off of DoorDash for the past hour. DoorDash. I know Amazon is on strike, but are the DoorDashers on strike too?
All the athletic ability in the world, all the money, his whole hairline in place.
Let me see. Hold on, y'all. I wanted to get on here and talk about y'all's experience going live, but
Fuck you. They were saying that I needed to get it. I didn't get it.
Oh, okay. Was this some type of new tanning cream?
No.
Because last look, we saw a little black mark on her hand last episode.
It was self-tanner.
I said, you got dirt. I said, you got dirt on your hand. She said, she was like this, wiping it.
He asked me if I was bleaching. No.
It was too tall. I said, oh shit. Her whole hand is like Mel don't put Mel don't apply.
hey,
Here she go. Like you just her bad.
hey y'all. Let me know in the comments if you are somebody that came in to engage and connect and build up your following, build up your engagement, build up your or really your engagement, your followers and your engagement. Because I want to bring a couple of people up and just talk about what you learned today. If you went live yesterday and today for the first time, or if you went live in general, come up and talk about some of the things that you learned about going live or posting videos, things that you've learned on here. Hey y'all.
$80 million from his record label bank account. They're on the way to divorce, and she would do $80 million. That's wild.
That was me. It would have been.
Hey.
Which is crazy because he just sold his masters. He just made like
I hate to order something real heavy because it's like 7 o'clock at night. Oh, they close. Okay, so they.
Well, there's
So what are the hours? They canceled my order because. Okay, I guess they. All right, let me order from someplace else. Let's see who's in here. Hey Rose, hey Rojo, hey Junior B3, hey Walk Down Drew. What's up, y'all? Who wants to come up and chit chat? Who wants to come up and chit chat? Thank you for sharing the live, Junior. I appreciate it. Okay, let me see something. Let me see. All right, Junior, I'm gonna try to bring you up. See, you should get an invitation to come up. Did you get the invitation? Ooh, there we go. Can
Hey,
you?
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Can
Not
you hear
sure how
me?
to get my video going.
Okay, yeah. You probably have to go in your menu down there.
Let me try to go in the settings here.
I wish they wouldn't make it so difficult, but they do be doing that sometimes. You still with us, Junior? Let's see. Hey, y'all. Let me see. I don't know what happened to you, Junior. Did you accidentally drop down? Who wants to come up? I want to talk about whatever you want to talk about. I was thinking about um, listening to some new podcasts. But if you are new to TikTok or if you are new to posting, getting your follows up and stuff like that, if you want to come up and talk, let me know. Let me see who's in here. Hey. Oh, I'm trying to. Okay. I think I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Monica Wills. Hey, the baddie. What's up? Who wants to come up? Let's chit chat real quick. All right, give me a couple of minutes. Let me try to figure out what are we eating because I'm not cooking a thing. And I know my daughter is hungry. So let me try to order something real quick. Hey y'all. Oh, hold on. Okay. All right, I'm gonna just pick one of you guys. Let's see. All right, you guys, you're supposed to be engaging with each other, but nobody's saying anything. All right. Oh, so, hold on, y'all. I'm on my bed, so I'm crashing stuff. I joined a live last night for a creator whose name is Blend and something. Let me see what her name is. And so I followed a bunch of people. We were in like one of those rooms where you could follow people could follow you, and the point was just to try to connect. And so I kind of want to do the same thing with a theme. And for those of you who are new to TikTok, new to going live, who maybe have not yet gone live, but you need some more help, let's help each other. Let us help you get your numbers up. I think it used to be that you had to have at least 1,000 followers to go live on TikTok. But I think you can do it a lot sooner now. And I think you can be under 1,000. I guess it just really just depends on your engagement. So I wanted to do something a little bit different and bring up some of you guys who are, let me see. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna try to follow some of you guys. How about you, Dr. Crystal? I'm gonna try to, I just sent you an invitation, Dr. Crystal. You wanna come up? Ashley who?
Okay, so audio only. That's good. Good evening.
Hey, Dr. Crystal.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Oh, I was running back to my room in a panic.
Why?
To put something on my head, and I was like, okay, audio only. Great.
Listen, I didn't really do too much to my hair today. When I went live earlier, I was like, okay, I'm gonna just put some conditioner in it and just put a little headband on because I wanted to like focus on my skincare in the previous video. Oh, hey, the little girl, Abiana. That's who that is. I know who you are now. Okay. So are you, how long have you been on TikTok, Dr. Crystal?
So I've only been on, and I've watched a couple lives. So I was like, oh, let me think about this. My sister really introduced me and has been encouraging me. So I want to say 5 weeks. At the end of today, Friday, is 5 weeks.
Okay, so not that long. All right. And then you're able to go live and things. Have you been live yet?
not. And yes, I did get an inbox saying that I could go live and I could practice before and all that. I don't I don't feel as confident because I'm still learning. I'm taking notes from a couple of lives that I've been in about what to do, what not to do, reading the community guideline, all the things. So I
Yeah.
have not yet. This is my first time being on the live with you. And I said, well, this is safe because it's her live.
Yeah.
So this is my first time. Yes, actually.
Yeah. The one of the things that like I just do it, like I'm not a perfectionist. I'm kind of like a type A wannabe. I want to be doing things perfectly all the time. But what I learned about life is that sometimes you just got to jump in here first and just see what it's about. So just go live. Sometimes for minutes, nobody comes to my live, but I'm still going to talk because that's content that I can download later and put in another medium.
Yes, I heard that too from a live that you can download them. I think people can put them on YouTube. I don't know. I've just been taking so many good notes, and I was like, what will I talk about? I see people, talking about different things. Some people say you have to have a niche. Some people say you don't. I did go to a live last night where it was a party. She's just playing really great music that we all know, kind of
Yeah.
relaxing, people dancing. We couldn't see, but we could
Yeah.
feel people dancing. And I was like, okay, now I like this live. It's Throwback Thursday is what she calls it. So
Yeah.
I've just been to a few lives and nothing like this one. So this is also a different live, which is nice too. So I'm just exploring. I just made 500 last night. 500 followers.
Oh, okay. I was going to say you made $500.
No, 500 followers last night.
Good. That's really good. To say that you have only been on the app like 5 weeks and you got 500 followers, that's a lot. I think the more that you post, the more that you engage with people, you're gonna get. Let me see. Am I follow? I think I am following you, Dr. Crystal.
Okay.
Natasha, I see you. Are you saying, Natasha, that you haven't gone live yet either? Natasha in the chat. Are you able to go live, Natasha?
So,
Thank you, Abiana.
and so as we're live, can you still do all the things that they say, to engage even while you're like whatever, a guest on live?
Like what? Like
Um, Put for your page or live or send the hearts or any of that, tapping the
yeah.
screen.
Yeah, you should be able to still tap. You should be able to like send gifts and everything.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And so how I got you on is in the bottom left corner of the screen, it says like guests and
Okay.
multi guests. And so I just clicked multi guests and it allowed me to bring up whoever I want to bring up.
Okay. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
And it
then,
also says subscribe and shop. So some
yeah.
different options. Okay.
Yeah. So like so I'm monetized on TikTok so brands can ask to collaborate with me.
Okay.
So I've gotten, I can't tell you how many free samples, stuff that I didn't have to buy. I just say, hey, I want that. Send me that and I'll promote it. And so you just owe them a video talking about it, you know?
Okay, so how do you have, I'm sure there's, I don't know, is there a certain level you have to be at, or, do you have to, like, how
Yeah.
does it happen?
You have to get your engagement up
Okay,
and probably your follower count too.
okay,
But I think it's more of the engagement.
yes.
So I have had multiple comments that I have made on other people's
I do that.
pages go
Yes.
viral. Like I've commented something about the Kardashians. I've been on DDG. He's the guy who has the kid with Halle Bailey.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So I commented on one of his videos, and that video still gets people liking it or responding to it. And so when you have comments or videos or content that goes viral, that increases that allows the algorithm to send people to your page, and brands see that. And also when you post content, you can your views on those content, like those companies will see that. So before I was monetized, I would just buy a bunch of stuff off of TikTok because I like to buy stuff. I'm a
Okay.
shopaholic. And I would just go buy stuff and then I would get on live or I would post a video about it. Y'all, have y'all tried this? This was before anybody was even offering to send me anything. And
Okay.
what happened was one of the things that I was talking about, a brand reached out and was like, hey, we see that you posted this video and it got some good traction. So would
Okay.
you be willing to post another video and we'll give you 50% commission?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm.
So I kind of manifested getting monetized by just posting all this stuff. And I think, were you in the live yesterday with the lady
I
Blend something?
I think so.
Yeah. So she was talking.
2 or 3 a day just to hear different perspectives and different and see how people do their
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah. So it's all kinds of things. I have multiple pages on here as well. So like I got a gardening page, I have a couponing and savings page, I have my business page, and then I have this page. So I get a lot more views and things like that on my gardening page because people, not right now because it's cold, but like in the spring and the
Yeah.
summertime when people are starting to like prepare for their gardens and pulling stuff off their garden, I get a lot of content on there. So whatever it is, and you don't have to like be just do one thing. you know
Yes, that's really good, and that's what I'm learning too. I have uh-oh. Did I get I'm sorry.
it's okay.
Um what was I saying is that I have a business page and it was up first and I only had one post there because I really wasn't into TikTok, but my sister is in a Dollar Tree community of women mainly,
Yeah.
and she's close to 10,000. So that's how I kind of got into TikTok and what she's doing and like supporting her and seeing all the things that she was doing. And then so then I thought, okay, this could be fun. And I'm just starting like at fun. I do
Yeah.
feel it's definitely work, and I don't mind engaging. Like I engage every day in life, right? So I don't mind that. But I have to be careful about being a little addicted. Like I've been on here lives every night, going to bed late. Now we're on holiday, so that's fine, right? Because we're
Yeah.
not or anything. But yeah, I see how it can be addicting. Going to the lives and trying to get your numbers and all that. And I'm like, okay, I just want to have fun. Like I
Yeah.
just the
And
other
that's
thing.
perfectly fine. And it can actually be a job. And a
Yeah.
lot of people, a lot of these influencers, a lot of them have migrated from like YouTube and Instagram and Facebook to TikTok because TikTok is the most happening. I think there's a lot of people engaging on Snapchat as well, but
Yes.
like there's a lot of people migrating off of YouTube onto here. They
Yes.
might still have their channels on YouTube and whatnot, but the large majority of them post a lot of stuff. And then sometimes you might see the same content on
From
TikTok
different
that you
persons.
see
One
on like
lady, yes. One lady I follow, I think her name's Nicole on Instagram. Have been following her for a long time on Instagram. That's where I'm best on Facebook, and I have my business page there, and I get clients from Facebook and all of that, and
yeah.
Instagram. So I'm very new to TikTok. But Nicole, I just saw she had a post, and I said, "Oh, okay, she's over here on TikTok." So I realized what you're saying. A lot of folks, are on, of course, the various platforms. But what I learned today, Lashonda, is that on my page, when I post and it's to everyone, I was getting numbers like 200, maybe 300 likes. And when I post just to friends, it's lower. And of course, I'm just on here, just
Thank you, Jalena's Design. Sorry, they keep sending roses. Thank you so much. Go ahead, keep on.
But the lady said today that you have to keep your videos at 15 seconds or lower and really like 10 seconds. Because if people don't watch the video, that's kind of why you're getting stuck at 200, 300 likes.
That also try to do some of the TikTok trends. So the reason that they say that is because you get more views at like 10 or 15 seconds because if you're posting something, the likelihood that somebody's going to sit there and watch a 10-minute video or even a 1 minute video is, less unless it's engaging material, right? Thank you. Thank you. Who is that? That's Galena's again. Galena's Design. Thank you so much. I'm gonna make sure I follow you. Yeah, so I see the logic in that. I've got 10-minute videos on here. I've got probably hour-long videos on here. I've got 10-second and 10. But yeah, you think about how the time that you spend on somebody's, post or whatever. If you are somebody who typically spends like 30 seconds on somebody's post, if their video is 10 seconds long, that's 3 views for them.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
So that's what that you're kind of hedging your bets when you do that. I would say do some of that, but do some longer form content as well. Do and if you're talking about something, sometimes you can post something and months will go by and not a lot of views, and then you'll do something else that went viral or that had a lot of numbers, and then people will go back and look at all of your stuff.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. I was in a room earlier, and I see, and I also have been learning that you people should be careful because TikTok doesn't like you to just go through and like. And I feel like on that last live, some people came through, and in my inbox, and they liked every single one. But I'm like, gosh, are they watching it? Because that was fast. You know what I mean? So
TikTok, every time there is a way for us to kind of beat the system, TikTok will find a way to slow some of that down because they really want it to be real engagement and real, liking. Because if you're just going and just liking someone's every post, and that kind of looks like you're maybe a bot, and they really have done a good job this year of keeping the bots and the multiple pages off of TikTok. I'm telling you, it was a problem. I've been on TikTok for it's probably been 4 years now.
oh, okay, long time. Okay.
Yeah. And so, it used to be a problem. They've even done a good job of keeping people out of your DMs and things on here because that used to be a really bad thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the one thing that you do have to worry about is going and following a bunch of people at the same time.
Yes.
Um,
Told me that. Yes, ma'am.
yeah, they will put you in TikTok jail and you won't be able to follow anybody. Not only is there a 10,000 a limit of 10,000 people that you can follow, but if you go and just like just follow a whole bunch of people, TikTok sees that as you being a bot.
Okay.
And
So
they
are you
will.
saying that like on this live, different lives I've been to, and I've been probably about 5 or 6. When people are in the rooms, like following each other and bestie for bestie and all these things, you're also saying don't do that in the lives of following a lot of people. What would be the max you would follow in a live?
So I don't know what the max is. I know that I've been in TikTok jail before for doing it. What I'm mostly talking about, how you can go to your messages, like when it shows you your activity,
Yes, and
you
follow
can
all those
see like how
people.
all of the people that followed you,
Yes.
if I were to go down the line and just follow all of those people back at one time in one sitting with no space in between it, TikTok will see that as me being like a bot.
Okay. Yeah, that's very good because my sister told me don't.
Yeah.
Then also suggested ones of people I know, like in my area, some colleagues, some suggested folks. But I was trying to follow, being a niche. And so some of the people I was like, no. And then she told me to go check, like go on their profile and look. And I did see some that were like user, no pictures, no
Yeah.
posts. She said, don't follow those.
Yes. And if I could offer up some other advice, some things that I do to keep myself from having a large following of people that are just not engagers or people who it's probably some bots, right? What I do is I'll periodically go through my follower list. If they don't have a profile picture, I'm not following them. If they don't have a unique username, if their username is just user 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, I'm not going to follow them. If I go to their page and there's only one video, I'm probably not going to follow them.
That's the same advice I got. So that tells me that that was good. That was good guidance.
Yeah. Also, and I'm a little bit more picky too. even if you have like 10 videos, but I go and look and see the first time that you posted a video was like 10 days ago,
Hmm.
that's telling me that you're only on here. You're only on here to try to get me to follow you. And I
Yes.
had to go and unfollow a bunch of people
Hmm.
that I had followed like maybe 2 years ago. We had this thing, it's very similar to the teamwork challenge. It was the Black Girl Follow Train.
Okay.
We did that, and that's how I ended up being qualified to go live, because I followed a bunch of Black women and they followed me, and I got my numbers up over 1,000, and that's how I was able to go live. So that was successful. But the large majority of the people that I ended up following, they didn't follow me back. So if I go in my followers list and I
Yes.
see that um we are not friends, like you're friends if you follow them and they follow you, so it'll show as a friend. So if we are friends, I'm going to keep you on my I'm going to keep following you. But if I go in there and it's not somebody, like it's not a celebrity or it's not an influencer that I like, that I know don't know who I am, if it's just a random person that did not follow me back, I'm going to unfollow them.
Yes, and my sister, that's very good too. She told me that because I did make that mistake, in the beginning, and she said, "Go back, Crystal, and you go through." And I had like 600, and I did go through, and I unfriended or unfollowed like 300 people because
Yeah.
not people, but it was bots
Yeah.
and crazy
Yep.
stuff and whatever. And she told me to try to keep my numbers even
Yep.
between who I follow and who follows me. So
Yeah.
so yeah, that's a good guidance that I'm hearing, and so that's wonderful. It's interesting that you just said that celebrity pages, and so right before I got on this, I went and asked my son. He's 21, so he knows the TikTok stuff. He's just tickled, like, "Mom, you don't even know what you're doing," but he's having fun. But he a page that said Elon Musk, and he said, "Mom, no, now Elon Musk is not following you." And then they have pictures of him, and I was like, "Yeah, no, that's a no." So I didn't follow back.
Yep. Yep. And that's and you can go and block those people from following you too. Like Galina's Design saying on here, it's lots of fake accounts. And that's what people do. And believe it or not, who you follow and who follows you does affect your FYP. So
Okay.
if you are following a bunch of fake pages or bots,
Mhm.
then it's not going to give you quality people that come on your For You page.
Yes, that's
And
good.
yeah, and so I want to see the people that I follow. I want to see the stuff that they're posting. That's going to be on my following list. But I also want to see new people.
Mhm.
So I want to see what's on my For You page. Now, what's on my For You page right now is a bunch of stuff, people selling me stuff, but that's because I buy a lot of stuff and I also promote a lot of stuff. You
Okay.
know?
Yeah, they come. Yes, I
Yeah. So
understand that.
so that's going to affect your algorithm, and your algorithm dictates what's on your For You page. So
Yes,
yeah, you
very
want to
good.
periodically go out there and clean it up, like, and then what I noticed is that a lot of people were reaching out to me in the DMs, and months and months, and I never deleted the messages, I just never responded to them. Months and months later, I'm noticing that all of those people have now gone away. Like, you don't even see a profile picture. When they initially reached out to me, they had a profile picture, they were constantly sending me messages, and now they're all blank profiles. So that lets me know those were a bunch of fake pages or bots or people just trying to scam and things like that. So you really do have to be careful.
Yes, I know. On my sister, of course, as I was saying, in the Dollar Tree community, and really, there's some wonderful women there. Honestly, I mean, this 5 weeks, that I've been on, there's some good ladies. But a lady did come on yesterday who's been following my sister and supporting her, really, really well. And she, they do the Dollar Tree thing in the gift, not giveaway, because they said TikTok don't like to say giveaway, so gift away. And she had sent some packages out. And ladies paid. Well, she asked for the shipping, so about, I don't know,
Yeah.
6 ladies paid, and then one lady who had been following sent her a box, and then she sent the box off. Sent the tracking lady. The lady ghosted her. Then she blocked her account. Then she reported her, and I was like, "See, that's the kind of stuff you got to be careful of because
Yeah.
that's really terrible to me. So you have to be careful about that type of thing."
Yeah, that's why it's important to use programs and software like Linktree. Like, you can put a Linktree link in your bio, and that way if it should be linked to like your Etsy page or your actual website, so that all of you, I wouldn't say handle people hand to hand, because you never know what you might get. You could pay money on here via, or pay some money to somebody via Cash App or Chime or whatever it is, expecting something, and you don't get it. But that TikTok has safeguards for that. That's why they have, like, I have been offered or asked to be a seller on here, or sell my stuff on here, and there are lots of parameters and guidelines and safety precautions that they have on here to prevent stuff like that from happening. So if somebody reaches out to me, or if brands reach out to me and they're like, what's your WhatsApp number, or can I have your, I don't send anything through the DMs. They need to send information to me through the collaboration tool on TikTok.
Okay, that's very good. That's a piece. Two questions are coming up for me as you were saying that. So, excuse me, that is very good information, because I did get in my, I guess it's the notification where TikTok says I can sell, and they send me emails, that say ready to sell, get on here, whatever. And I haven't moved to that because I'm just trying to hang on here. So I definitely am not ready to move towards selling, but
Yeah.
I did get that, and I get the coupons from them, and like they just sent something with the coin saying if you're ready to go live, like you can earn $16 or something like that. I received that. What was the other question I was going to ask? Oh, I have been hearing, like everyone, with the new administration coming in, and potential changes to TikTok. It makes me think like, man, we're doing all this work, and I'm not doing all the work others, and you and people have been on here and selling it, gone viral and things like that. Are you nervous about what potentially could come to pass in 2025?
No, they're calling it a TikTok ban, but really what it is the US government wants access to our data. And they don't like that this foreign company, because TikTok is owned by a foreign company.
Yes.
And they don't like that this foreign company has access to so much of American data. And I don't know if you've ever ordered anything off of TikTok. It, like,
No,
I can,
my son has.
yeah, when I look at the tracking, a lot of it is coming from China, a lot of it's coming from other places outside of the US. And you have to submit your address, you have to submit your payment information. So they have all of that. So really it's a bid for data. They want our addresses, they want our phone numbers, they want all of the information of what we're looking at, because that's ad dollars, right? Like, they want to know, what is LaShonda looking at all the time, so that they can know how to sell to me. And even if they put limitations on TikTok next month, it's not going to go away. You might not be able to like upgrade, or it's not going to be in the Apple Store or your Google Play Store. But if you've already have it on your phone, you're still going to have access to it.
That
It
makes
just
sense,
might,
because there's a lot of people saying a lot of different things.
yeah,
And so I was thinking, man, well, I'm just having fun anyway. So if it goes away, then oh well, I had fun.
yeah,
But I do realize that there are a lot of people who are doing this as full-time job, and people are very serious about
yeah.
TikTok. And so I wonder, I was like, man, those folks would really, that would hurt. I think that would hurt. So.
Yeah, and the last thing you want to do, especially as a small business, if you are a small business, is want to do all this work, and then all of the work that you put in is for naught. And the best advice that I could give, and hi, Diara White, thank you.
Yes, I
Good
was just
evening.
on her live too. She is a wonderful teacher. I mean, she is wonderful. I've been on a couple of her lives.
What I would say is, don't put all of your, what's the saying? Don't put all your apples in one basket.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, those of us who, if you want to sell on TikTok, don't let TikTok be the only place that you sell, right? Like, you can sell on Instagram, you can have your own website connected to Etsy or whatever, Shopify. There's tons of different software programs that you could use to do all of that. So don't have TikTok. And that way, if in fact it goes away, you still have those other opportunities. And just also keep in mind, where TikTok may downgrade, there's always going to be another app that comes up. Remember long ago when Facebook was the thing, was the place to be?
That's where I flow best.
Yes. Yes. But I'm old enough. I'm 45. I'm old enough to remember when Facebook was only for people who had um, college email accounts. And then once it became open to the general public, I used to have family members that were upset if I took a picture and posted it on Facebook.
Yes,
Now everybody on Facebook,
everybody,
right? And
everybody.
I'm less on Facebook. I still have Facebook pages, but I'm less likely to be on. I might post something like happy anniversary to my husband, happy birthday to my kid or what, you know what I mean? But
Yes.
I'm not posting as much on there. I go live every now and then on there, but most of the time it's here. But it went from like Facebook to Instagram and Snapchat,
Yeah.
and a long ago it used to be Tumblr was a thing,
Uh-huh.
but now
Mhm.
now it's TikTok.
Yeah. That's the same for my sister. And again, she knows that I flow, relatively well on Facebook because some of my work in my business,
Yeah.
self-employed. I do receive customers and clients on my Facebook page, professional page,
Yeah.
and then I did a lot of cleaning. And every year we about at the time to do more cleaning on
Yeah.
Facebook. End of the year I go through, look at the list. But she is also, since she's been on TikTok like you, she posts less. She's like, Crystal, I just go on there if you post something good to post to you.
Yeah.
But she goes less and less now on Facebook.
Yeah.
So, and I guess, people say, oh, Facebook is for my age. I just turned 55. And my son's on Snapchat. And he tries to block me from being on there because I just make sure, nothing inappropriate is happening, which he's a good kid. But, I'm just saying, I want to make sure that he understands social media and, all the things like
Yeah.
careful of what you post and all of that because, it can be the wild, wild west out here.
Oh,
And I
absolutely.
understand that TikTok has a side that, well, I don't want to ever go on, but, I've heard people talk about, just the dark side, right? All
Yeah.
social media has the dark side. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Like I think people can watch porn and things like that on, certain places, even on Twitter. That's another place too that I am, but I don't post as much.
yeah.
You know, all of this content though is refurbishable, right? Like you can post something, like I said, when I go live, after this live is over, I can download that video and post it wherever I want to post it. It's going to have the TikTok watermark on it, but I don't care.
Yes, yeah, I've seen that too because I heard one live where they were saying if it so one person live was talking about getting an account on Lemonade. So I mean, my sister looked there, seeing what that is, and I understand. I think if it's correct, it's a sister app
Mhm.
to TikTok, and people were saying have a backup account there, and things like that. But and it's different, right? It's different from TikTok in some ways.
Yeah. Yeah. And all of these companies like use the influencers and the people and people that look like you and I to
Yes.
promote their app and to make it famous. TikTok, it used to be called Musically, and my daughter was on there, and I just saw them on there dancing all the time.
Mhm.
And it really has probably only been in the last 4 years, so since the pandemic, that it has become what it is right now, like a place to chit chat with people, a place to sell stuff. I was on TikTok before it was TikTok Shop, you know, and now they have this new thing. They have the STEM side of, what is it, science?
Uh,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
So yeah, it's growing and growing and growing, and as it gets more popular, of course the government sees that. They're like, oh my god, this is a wonderful wealth of information. Any kind of data that they can get on its residents, it wants, and there's nothing wrong with that because
Yeah,
go
it's
ahead.
interesting though, Lashonda, because you said that, and I was thinking, but y'all have all our information, like on Facebook, like you got
Right.
tons of information already on Americans and everybody else, really, honestly,
but but think about the places on social media that you are and the places that you are not. I know people that are, because you can sync your contacts to whatever app you on, or you can choose not to sync it, right?
Yeah.
So I have people that I know are not on Facebook, but when I come on here and I sync my contacts with them, or if I add a new phone number into my contact list, they're on TikTok.
Hmm.
They might not be posting anything, but they got a TikTok page because they want to get in here and look at, they want to see the dances, or they want to be nosy and see what other people are doing.
Yes. And
Hmm.
I mean, I guess that was kind of me. I wasn't coming on here. I did create an account when, I guess all the buzz at least came to me, which is, recently. But I only had one post there. And so I thought, well, people probably aren't going to friend me because they only see one post. But again, I was not, over here focused or anything. I just, had a page. But yeah, in the last 5 weeks, I've learned a ton. I mean, oh my gosh, I've learned so much. And like even my sister, she got put in TikTok jail, and I was like, "Now, sister, what did you do?" And and it's not like we're doing anything. Like we're not doing anything. Trust me. But you know what they said?
What?
She posts her Dollar Tree finds and hauls, and they do the things like that. And she had purchased allergy medication, and
No.
came and said it was out of community guide. So she put in I guess appeal or whatever you do. And they did come back almost right away, and they put it back. They put it back. So I was like, man, that's wow. You wasn't like cussing or no, nothing wrong. But
You do have to be careful.
yes,
You do have to be careful. And that's why once you are active, you need to be vigilant and diligent about looking at the notifications. Because had she not appealed it, then she would have had that community strike against her account. And once you get so many, they will close your account and not allow you to get on. You'd have to create a new page and start all over from scratch.
yes.
Yeah. Another thing.
Pretty diligently too. She told me to do the same thing.
Hmm. Hmm. Another thing that I would say too, because I've been, if I'm live and I'm in my car, you have to either put a filter on so they can't see the car moving, or you're gonna have to stop.
Yes.
Because if they can tell
If you're
that you're
driving,
driving, and they will shut your live down and say that it's a community guidelines violation. And I get it, because they don't want you to be live driving
yes.
because you're not paying attention to the road. That's a, hey, Britt, because that's a hazard, and so I get that. I even like, I'm gonna tell you what I do like about TikTok, that they have kind of cornered the market on. It's the screen time thing. If I'm on for an extended amount of time, that little girl or guy or whoever that comes up and says, hey, have you been scrolling instead of sleeping? Have you been on this thing? Have you ever been on TikTok that long to where you
No,
get that?
I've not seen that. No, I have not.
Then that's good. That's a good sign. That means that you haven't been on here as long as.
Okay. No, and I was on here late last night, and I was like, "Get to bed, get off of this app, and get to bed." But so I'm glad. That's a
Yeah.
nice safeguard, right? Just like, okay, you've been on, probably need to take a break.
Now listen, you can swipe past them, but I use that as my gauge. If that comes up and it says, hey, you've been on TikTok a long time, maybe let's take some breaths. Maybe let's take a break and get some water. Like, it will literally tell me that. So if it tells me that, I use that as my opportunity, because I have an addictive personality. When I am obsessed with something, I will ruminate on it, and I will do it like that. It's even with like food. If I like something, I'm going to order it probably 3 times in a row,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh my gosh, this is why you asked me to come on. It's like energy. It's like energy. And I have said, even my son, and he's in college, but on break, holiday break, and he's
Yeah.
been watching me and my sister. Which, on the other hand, I will say, Lashonda, that, and me and my sister are close anyway and love each other. But these last 5 weeks that we've been on here, and she's helping me, and we're doing things. We've
Thank you,
we've
Britt.
been every day and probably twice a day since then on Messenger. Like, we'll get on, and of course we're talking about Dollar Tree finds, because there's some stuff we're finding there, and I feel like some good can come of it, because
Yeah.
I'm finding Dollar Tree things, and I get, and the dupes and ladies doing
Yep.
reviews. But what I have a nonprofit as well, and so the idea we just came up with is, we do the prom each year for underrepresented students in my hometown. So we have dresses, and we do the accessories for girls, young women, and young men. And so this year, I said, sister, we're buying a lot of product, and we came up with the idea of when we get ready for prom coming in 2025, we're going to offer gift bags to the young ladies as well. Like the shower gel, and we're kind of obsessed with buying the set. So like we have to have the whole set of everything, the lotion, the shower gel, whatever, the face mask. And so we just had some sets that came in, and we bought, I don't know, a ridiculous amount. And so I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so exciting for prom, because the students we serve are already come in. They don't have, what they want and need for prom. And so, we make them feel good. We have snacks, we have water. It's like a whole experience, right? When the students come on, we're at the community center like 4 or 5 hours. Students come by, we, pick through the dresses. If we have shoes and belts and lashes, whatever that can go. And this year we want to add that to our prom experience. So I'm excited about that. And that's what's also driving me to have sets and look at things that I think young ladies would like, who maybe wouldn't otherwise have it, LaShonda, right? And
what's the name of your nonprofit?
It's called Servant Hearts Incorporated.
You have a website?
I don't have a website for it. I do have a Facebook for it. Okay. Yeah.
Post it in the chat. And what I'll do is I'll clip this part of the live and post it for you.
Okay.
And then I can tag you in there. And for those of you who are on here, the few people that are on here, make sure you guys go and follow Dr. Crystal. And do you have the link in your bio?
The link to no. Yes. I think I do. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so then if we follow you, we can go to your page. Let me see. If I go to your page.
I'm learning. So I was like, okay, let me make sure. Do I?
Yeah, let me see. I want to go to your page. Can I go to your page while we're live? Hold on.
Okay, that's a good question. Let me go here. I want to make sure I have put the correct link in here.
I might have to do it when we get off, but yeah. But if you guys go to her page, click her profile picture, click the link in the bio. It'll take you to her Facebook page for her foundation. Say the name again.
Servant Hearts Incorporated.
Servant Hearts Incorporated. And let me tell you, I think a lot of people sleep on Dollar Tree when it comes to things. Yes. Dollar Tree be having brand name stuff in there. Dollar Tree has come a long way.
A mighty long way. A mighty long way.
I remember when the Dollar Trees were first a thing, and it used to just be like a little store, a little small store in the mall. And when they started getting their own stores, that got great. And then now what they have, and they even like ours, of course, they all went up to $1.25. Was it last year?
Yeah.
And then now they got the $5 aisle. But I'm gonna tell you, I was just talking about. I'm gonna go into my bathroom here. Hold on a second. A lot of the skincare that I buy, it'll either be a dupe of some brand name, and a lot of times, if you look at the ingredients, it's the same stuff.
It's the same thing. Now, LaShonda, I just want to say here, because I've learned so much even about that, is that I would go in Dollar Tree before just for paper towels or toilet paper, things like that. But now even a different category of people shop at Dollar Tree that was not shopping at Dollar Tree before, and which is part, I think, I'm just saying the extra $5 quarters now that we pay. And now there are women who are on TikTok and only do Dollar Tree and have gained, a massive amount of followers. And like even Dollar Tree have their own TikTok, like the one, for instance, in Texas. And they are on there. They watch. I've met the 3 managers in my area in Kansas, and they all know, they're all aware. And we were just kind of joking, my sister and I, like, TikTok has brought Dollar Tree up in the game, like, to a massive level.
Yeah. I think you can even order stuff from Dollar Tree on DoorDash, if I'm not mistaken. It's one of those, I've seen it on one of those stores that deliver. It might be Instacart that you can get stuff from. But yeah, listen. So This is the moisturizer that I use most of the
Mhm.
time. And I believe this is a dupe of, I want to say Revlon's.
I think that's right. That's correct.
Yeah. It's just as thick and just as good, but
Hmm.
you don't got to spend like $10 for the Revlon one. You can just go and spend the Dollar Tree one. And also, you know that company on here on TikTok. I only was introduced to them on TikTok, Guru Nanda.
I do know. And they have things at Dollar Tree. Oh yes, yep. Hmm.
I got this from Dollar Tree for $1.25 compared to, what you will spend. Now I buy the stuff anyway. Like this is the stuff that I got from TikTok Shop.
Yeah.
But when I went in Dollar Tree and saw that Guru Nanda was in there, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I like that, and I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think a lot of people sleep on Dollar Tree a lot, and it's like I am never gonna sleep on Dollar Tree.
Yes. I mean, it's been amazing the 5 weeks of learning Dollar Tree, honestly, and TikTok really simultaneously. And then, like I said, my sister's been in the game at really close to 10,000 now. One of the virals at Dollar Tree, there's several, but one right now that everyone, when it comes in, they buy it out. You can't hardly even get one. Is the dupe for Neutrogena, the lip sleeping mask. And when I tell you, and again, you read the back, you see the same ingredients. I
Yep.
went and bought the Neutrogena at Walmart. Okay, $11 for this little tube, $1.25 at Dollar Tree. Looked at the ingredients, which I do that now. And there's a lady who always, and she's a anesthetician, and
Uh huh.
she has a page where she says what she thinks is a yes and a no, based on her experience as an esthetician. And she said that this lip mask is a yes. And I'm telling you, I have been wearing this lip mask ever since.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm amazed by it, and I'm often thinking, if Dollar Tree can sell this stuff, like if it has the name brand on it, if they can sell this stuff for $1.25, why would we ever go anywhere else and get the name brand stuff?
Pay all that money. I follow
Pay all
several
the money.
ladies, yes, that review Dollar Tree things. And sometimes you're gonna get things that don't work for you
Yeah.
or whatever. And so but overwhelmingly, it has been some really good stuff. And as soon as someone posts something new, I mean the ladies mainly, there are a couple guys, but mainly they are there getting it. My sister goes to her Dollar Trees, the three next to her almost daily. I'm telling you, we done lost our mind over here.
Yeah.
Um, and it's really nice. I'm excited because I'm using some of the dupes, trying them out, but then I'm also building what I call my little in-home store to get ready for the prom. And so
Yeah.
that piece of it has been fun for me on this like just initial 5 week TikTok journey.
Yeah.
And so those two things together, and then of course I have followed a couple of ladies in the 50 and over, a couple ladies 40 and over. Now I am trying to pay a little bit more attention. I mean, I have to do better on my other page, which is not business, but it's more about leadership, which I teach and train on. And I'm a professional development facilitator. So I travel the country and train on leadership, servant leadership specifically. And so I have went on there to follow a lot of ladies, and specifically African American women who teach and train also on leadership. So that's nice. And my sister says, Crystal, you are always working, always working. Please, I want you to keep TikTok fun and still here on the Dollar Tree's fun side, because you get over there and then you won't come back. So
You can do both, and that's the benefit of like having multiple pages. Like I said, I too, and that's why I know about Dollar Trees, because I have my couponing and savings page, I have my gardening page,
yes.
I have my business page, but this is my main page, which you might see some of all of that on this regular page. But yeah, it for me it is fun, but also if I can make some money or get some free stuff while I'm having fun,
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's any harm in it. But I get it.
Yeah, and I was taking really listening to that, because I mean I think that would be fun to have be able to get. I need to plug in my phone because I sure don't want it to go off. To be able to get the product and review it and try it and all that. But as you said, you have to get to a certain level, and do some lives and things like that so that you can get out there. So that sounds fun. It sounds a bit scary. And Lashonda, it's almost crazy. My sister's like, I really don't understand. Like, you are an instructor. You've taught students for 50,000 years. You do a keynote. You train and teach people all over the world, and you are scared to get on a TikTok live. Like, really? I don't understand.
You know, it is a different skill, and sometimes talking to people in person is less scary than just like being out exposed on the internet, because you are exposed to more people, believe it or not. Even
Yeah.
if those people don't come into your live at the moment that you are live, if you go and post content, more people are going to see it, and and it's out there forever unless you delete it or take it off. And even
Yeah.
sometimes if you delete it, you got people that'll go on and screen record certain things, you know, and so it could live forever. So I get that, actually. I would love to stay connected with you, Dr. Crystal, because I'm in leadership at my job. I work for, so I'm in here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm an AR supervisor, in accounts receivables. I haven't been working the past 3 weeks because I had surgery last week.
Okay.
Um, and so I'll probably end up going back week after next or something like that, maybe in the new year or whatever. So I've been home on leave. And so that's why I've been posting a lot lately, because I'm like, while I'm here and I can't really do anything, let me just go ahead and, you know, post this video. I'm not really doing a whole lot of moving around or going out, you know, places and whatnot. Plus, it's the holiday, like you said. So it's like, let me just do that. But I am interested in like topping off my leadership skills and things like that. So we definitely should stay connected.
Absolutely. I would love that. I do, and I try to, well, I guess I'm trying, I don't know, but my sister's like, well, keep your leadership page separate because, Crystal, you have a bazillion amount of content for your leadership page. Like, you could get over there and, like all the things and totally be fine. But this is on this side is a little different, and learning and getting used to it. Of course, even over there with lives, like understanding, and it's so funny. She's laughing because she's like, I don't think anybody, and maybe people do. It's kind of a joke. Read the community guidelines, and I was like, well, I don't want to go to jail, so I want. Can I download them? And listen, I'm telling my age now. I'm 55. Can I download those? Can I print those? I need to highlight them and read them and print them and put sticky marks. And she was like, no, that's too much. Okay, thank you. That's too much.
I think your sister is correct, or at least for me, I don't know what the community guidelines are until I step across that line. It's like being a kid. Like, you don't know where your boundaries are until you step across. So I didn't know that I couldn't go live and be driving in a car until I violated that guideline. You know?
Yes. Yeah, they'll get you. You definitely get in trouble. And my son has been in jail on his games, and the kids are in groups parties, I guess they call them. And he's like, I'm in jail. Okay, well, that means you didn't do the guidelines. And then he says, what guidelines? Really, really, really? They have guidelines, sir. Yeah.
I'm more likely to violate a Facebook guideline than I am a TikTok guideline.
Yeah, and I've been kind of a little perturbed with Facebook lately. I've been getting on my business account so many spams that says it's from Meta, and I violated something and click here, and I was like, no, that's spam. And I feel like a lot right now, like a lot. And I get one or two, but now it's almost like every day, and I was like, what is going on?
Yep. One of the beautiful things about being on social media, and especially like TikTok and Facebook and being open, is that you're open to not just the people in your state or your country. You're open to the world.
Everything.
And but that's also one of the scary parts about it as well, because you are open to the world. I got scammed. I don't know, maybe like 2 months ago. I posted on Facebook, and I knew better because I know I've been doing this so long. I know better. None of us are immune to, everything. And I knew better, and I still didn't do better. I posted that I wanted to have somebody install a wig for me. I had an event to go to, and I was like, really wanting somebody to do it same day.
Yes.
So the first person to post on underneath that comment on Facebook, I went to her DMs and I was like, hey, how much and all that. We talking, we chit chatting it up. I'm verified on Facebook, so I pay money every month to have a check next to my
Yes,
name.
I had to say
You
yes.
know, so and I can't really change my profile picture because that's the picture that Facebook knows that is LaShonda. They have a copy of my driver's license. I get a couple of dollars every now and then from things that I post on Facebook. I'm monetized on
Yes.
Facebook as well. So, I'm thinking that everybody is like me and that everybody is altruistic and, are going to do what they say. It's not the case.
No.
So anyway, long story short, I sent this person money and, when I was trying to coordinate, when they were going to get here and all this, and I tried to call them on Messenger on Facebook page, I got blocked, like all of it, like they didn't answer the. So anyway, I lost $60 on that, but
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, like it's so many ways and so many people out there that are not like us, that are not in it for the same reasons. They're out to get what, just like in the world, you could walk outside and somebody could try to steal your car or steal your purse or whatever. It's the same way in the World Wide Web.
Yes. And you just have to know that, right? And be careful of that, which I don't know, sometimes makes me leery. And I'm Scorpio, so I'm already, private. And I'm like, oh, this is getting out here. I don't know. I want to do this, but I've been out here and I have met some wonderful people. And, just putting in the universe, I'll continue to meet good people. Even like tonight. And just saying, okay, when it came on request, I was like, oh boy, am I going on camera? I'm in pajamas. Oh boy, listen. So I'm glad it just said audio because I was like, okay, I can do it. So, yeah, it's fun. And I, like I was telling my sister, I just want it to stay fun. Like LaShonda, when it gets to, it's not fun anymore. Okay. Yeah, I will walk away. Like some people say, oh, you've done so much work, don't walk away. But yeah, like I don't need stress or, I just want it to be fun, meet some good people, connect. And if it's not that, then yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I hear you and I agree with that. And I inadvertently do that anyway. I'll take sabbaticals. And it's also just because of, my undiagnosed ADHD. Like I said, I will get obsessed with something and then I'll focus on that and then I'm bored by it. And then I'll go do something else and I'm obsessed with that and I'll leave all the other things. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how I am. So I don't necessarily get too burnt out on any one thing because I'm always like kind of focused on the next thing or returning to something and then I'm dropping that. It's kind of a weird thing of some people might even call it a bad habit. It's interesting you said that you're a Scorpio because I'm a Cancer. So it's water signs,
Yes. My son is Cancer as well.
Yeah.
So, it's in entrepreneurship, because I have many clients and mostly women who are at different, stages of development in entrepreneurship and in their business. And we talk about the shiny syndrome, right? Where it's the next thing. And I know I've been in business for myself. I celebrate 19 years last month. Woo! I understand the shiny object syndrome, right? Taking this course, taking that course, getting help here, getting help there, and trying to get all the things so you feel like you're ready to get out there when, really get out there. Yeah. I mean, education combined with the experience, wisdom, knowledge. You are enough to get out there and you're going to fail. You're going to make mistakes. Okay, that's fine. I teach my students all the time. We need to normalize failure, right? Because failure is how you learn. People, I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to look like this. And I have that too. Like, I have some of that too.
Yeah.
Imposter syndrome. And then there's people around me who's like, what? Are you kidding me? Right. But we have that. So, and one of my mentors always said to me, well, dear Crystal, you can only teach that which you yourself are learning. And so the imposter syndrome, get rid of that because you're learning as you go. I consider myself a lifelong learner. I love to read and learn and like this whole TikTok thing.
Yeah.
And, going to make mistakes as I figure it out. But I, like you say, that kind of needed to be perfect thing. You got to get over that and just get out there. Uh-oh, did I lose you, LaShonda? I don't know if it's that okay, maybe you'll come back. I'll just do some tapping.
Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can now.
Yeah, it was my iPhone was just telling me that my battery was going dead. So,
But yeah,
um, what was I getting ready to say? Um, oh, so I have some perfectionist tendencies in me too. My issue though is not getting started. My issue is not jumping in and just doing the thing. My issue is staying with it and finishing.
yeah. Uh-huh.
That is my issue. So I'll try the new thing. I'll download the app. I'll go to the thing. But
Yes.
just like staying with it,
Hmm.
that's a task. That's a task
Yeah,
for me.
that's the
So,
task.
but
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you, there are so many people that have what you want. Oh no, there are so many people. Yeah, there's so many people that have what you want, but there's also so many people who want what you have. So the
Yes.
19 years experience in entrepreneurship and leadership, and even just talking, just wanting a non. I have somebody in my life who wants to open a nonprofit and doesn't know the first thing, and I can't help her. And I'm very tempted because I'm a helper and I'm a
Yes.
giver. Like I'm tempted to like go do all of the research and then like you know regurgitate all of that onto her, but it's like no, I'm learning as I get older that I can't do everything for everybody. I can't be
Yes.
everything for everybody. So but like the connection I feel like that you're talking about, that you do, and it's it's so needed, and there are always going to be people that need something that you have. And so you don't have to be perfect at it. I'm not perfect at a lot of things, but I'm
Yes.
great at a lot of things too.
Yes, that is just so good because we have that, and we're thinking that ourselves, and all the while, like you said, there's others like, oh my gosh, like, and I've done probably I don't know 20 or 25 501(c)(3)s, so helping really small to mid-sized organizations that want to get their 501(c)(3) and understand that. And I worked in higher education for about 20 years before I got my own business, and I did some overlapping years. So when I first started, that's what I was, because I did a lot of federal grant writing and administration at the collegiate level with predominantly PWIs, predominantly white
Yeah.
institutions.
Yeah.
So I took that skill set into my business in the first like 10 years, and just helping people understand how to research and apply for grants. But what I came to realize, LaShonda, is that even though organizations wanted federal grants or state or local or private foundation grants, they really weren't organized and prepared and ready to apply for federal funding. So I said, you know what? Hey, let's spend some time organizing your board, right? Doing some board development training, understanding, the financial, well, fiduciary responsibility, right? Of monies and things like that. So then I really shifted to putting together, packages, whatever, checklists saying, hey, as you start as a nonprofit in your building, here are, 50 things, right, that you need to know and have. Get a notebook. I'm old school. I mean, you could have it online, yeah, but just get a notebook, start combining these things, have all your business things, your EIN, all the things. And then talk about your mission, your vision. Who are you trying to target? Why are you doing that? And for what reasons? What programs and services do you want to offer? Like, all the things, and help them spend some time first getting organized, and then applying for that, because I can help you get the 501(c)(3) in a day, right? If you have all the things, like, we can get that done in some hours. But are you ready, right? Are you prepared? Because it's a thing. You can get the grant, but are you prepared to administrate that grant and everything it requires? And this is where I'm just telling you, over 19 years, people fail. Then they're banned, right, from the federal government from getting any more funding. And then other funders look at that, right, and say, well,
Yeah.
they didn't manage that money transparently, so nope. So many things. And so what I found, though, also, LaShonda, is that sometimes, not everybody, but organizations would just want to skip straight to writing the proposal, right? No, 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 no. Well, just apply for it. We'll pay you for that. And I in the beginning, and learning, because as an entrepreneur, trust me, I have failed many times. And now those failures is what helped me make people and organizations better, right? Because if I didn't fail there or didn't make that mistake, now I wouldn't know to tell
Yep.
you, okay, we got to go this way. We can't go that way. We need to say it like this. Don't say it like that.
Yep.
And they would want to skip that prep time, Lashonda. And I said, you know what? And I would take money at first and help them in the, they'd want the proposal and then not win it. So after a couple times of that and that, mistakes, I said, you know what? If I see that they need that kind of whatever, 6 months, 3 months to get prepared and they want to skip that, I won't sign you as a client because I know, Lashonda, you're not going to be successful. Then you're going to come back to me and be upset. I paid you the money and we didn't win. Well, nothing is ever guaranteed, first of all. Because grants are a competitive process, right? And just because you have a proposal, if I have one and I'm an organization that's been in business, let's say 10 years, I've, managed whatever, $60,000 well, right? I've done fundraisers, all the things. And then you're a new nonprofit that's applying for that same grant, right? Who do you think they're going to grade higher, right? Their proposal, ones that showed them stability, transparency, accountability, all the things. And then they're upset. And I get that part of it is they don't understand the federal grants making process, right? I understand that. And that's why I say, and really invite them to let's spend some time talking about. And now, of course, 19 years, the first conversation within 30 minutes, I'm gonna know, like, can we work together or not?
Yeah.
And then I just beautifully and kindly bless them forward because I'm not going to do it anymore because I understand what it takes. Right.
Yep. I find it, I don't know what's the word. It's almost kismet that you would come in my life. And then I like the fact that we've been talking for as long as we've been talking, and I keep finding so many similarities and things that we have in common. So I went to a PWI. I went to the College of Charleston in Charleston, South Carolina, which is the PWI. It's actually a PWI in the middle of a black city, right?
Mm-hmm.
Charleston is predominantly black, but it's a predominantly white institution. And what is it that, like, you, for a part of your financial aid package is you can get a job and they will pay you out of that.
The federal work study program.
Work study. So as a work study student, I worked, get this, Dr. Crystal, at the Office of Sponsored Programs, which then got named the Office of Research and Grants.
Yes.
So I worked for the 3 years that I was at that school for that department, helping the teachers and the professors and the TAs go get funding from the federal government. Now, I wasn't in, I was just a clerical person. So I would just like, help them type up the applications and things like that. I wasn't like really into the details and the weeds and stuff. But I just find it interesting that that's what you do.
That's amazing that you worked as a work study student, like in that office, because, it's still a place, as you're saying, clerical, but you learn, right? You could learn so much in that area. And obviously at the university level, worked a lot with those, Office of Institutional Research, whatever they call it, research and grant. So always, we, filing our reports and, our percentages of how many students we retained. And the major program I worked with at 4 different schools, including at HBCU, Morris Brown down in Atlanta, was TRIO programs from the Department of Education. So my brothers and sisters, Lashonda, we were in the Upper Bound program. So let me start there. Okay. Well, in middle school and junior high. So again, I'm dating myself, but junior high into high school. And then I loved it so much that, I worked as a work study student in TRIO offices. And I was so, because we were also considered a very, low income first generation student at PWI here in Kansas. I loved it so much. I loved the underdog student who schools didn't think would be successful, could graduate, could understand the whole collegiate process. And so I was really, I'm talking about passionate to the soul, down to the toes of helping first generation students navigate it. And then I was one. So, and then, being the first in my family now that, have, received my PhD. I've helped thousands of students. I'm still an adjunct instructor right now because I thought I would leave academics completely, but No, Jesus is like, no, students need you. You're not, do your business. That's fine, but you still gonna work with students, which I love, right? I love
Yeah.
working with young people, and so it has been a blessing. I've seen so many students come through, and I learned a lot because I worked at three PWIs right over the career, and then I worked about 6 years at Morris Brown. And when I tell you, it was a culture shock for
Yeah.
me, them 6 years. And I was like, wait a minute. Okay, I thought I was working with students who were really navigating and really trying to make it. And then when I got to Atlanta, LaShonda, it was an eye opener. I was like, OMG. I mean, amazing, amazing. I'm grateful, honestly, that I had that experience
Yeah.
between the schools and understand the differences and all things. As a matter of fact, my brother-in-law works for Jack. He played also at K-State football, and then he went to the New England Patriots, and then he had his own business, and now he's coaching. He's at Jackson State University, and as you may know, they just won the national championships. So national championship. So did a very not really long post, but on Facebook, just kind of and I have a lot
Yeah.
of my church friends, colleagues on my Facebook page. So most people I know really talking about how it really wasn't handed to him and the years that I've watched my brother-in-law, you understand, coach at the high school level at different
Mhm.
various colleges throughout the United States and really work hard to that. And so this win was like monumental, like huge for
Yeah.
us and for our family that have watched my brother-in-law
Basketball or football?
football,
Football.
football.
Okay, so he took over for Dion.
Well, he is not the head coach. He's the
Okay, one of the
offensive
coaches. Still,
coordinator. Yes,
still, yeah,
yes.
that's still a
And
win. Yeah.
so that has been we've really just been high on that news. These last days that they won because it was really huge. Because we've watched the trench work is what I call it, being in
Hmm.
the trenches, and then now having really the opportunity to celebrate this. And he is like us, Lashonda. And so I called him obviously to congratulate him and everything. Now he's getting invited to podcasts and all the things. So he's like, oh my gosh, what? And he was, we were talking, congratulating him. And he's like, yeah, now we're going to move into recruitment and, holidays. And I was like, brother-in-law, I'm gonna need you to pause because all the work is not be present now and take this in, right? Because we do that,
You
right? Especially as
did.
an
Yep.
entrepreneur, you move on, you move on. What's next? What's next? You got to stay on time. And I'm like, no, nope, I don't want to hear nothing about what's next. Today, we are
Yeah.
just going to be present and soak in this win. And, reflect on how you got here, and just all of the work. I really don't teach hard work to my son, or it's just not us. I teach consistent. I teach discipline.
Discipline.
I teach being persistent. I don't hard work for me is a consciousness I don't subscribe to, because if you say it's hard, it's going to be hard. What I
Hmm.
teach is consistency. Just be consistent. Just be disciplined. Just be focused.
Yeah.
So anyway, I always say that on my Facebook page. Y'all that know me know I don't teach hard work. I teach consistency. And
Yeah.
so anyway, he said, "Thank you, sister-in-law. First of all, thank you for the call, and thank you for bringing me back. Bringing me that around to me." Well, you're welcome, sir. Because not only did he do that, but my sister did. Right? She supported him. She's traveled all over the world to
Yep.
go to his games and
Yep.
be present. And a coach's wife, and she was saying this.
Wow.
As I said, he got recently invited to a podcast, and so the people were also asking my sister if she would like to come on and talk about what it is like to be a coach's wife. And she is also a veteran and has retired from the military. And she said it's very similar. Spouses who support their military,
Yep.
spouses, it's very similar to coaching. And the coaching world, I wouldn't know nothing about it, Lashonda, if it wasn't for my sister. And I mean, it is a different world, all on its own. And traveling and coaches getting hired and fired, and if you go with that coach or if you stay at the school, like it's a whole thing. And my sister, to me, has navigated through that beautifully with her husband being gone, and at this school and
All the
that
time.
school,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
coming back home on breaks or recruitment and things like that. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. You know, I think you hit it on when you compared uh, the military and the spouses to coaching and coaches' wives or spouses and partners and things like that, because
Yeah.
it's so true. I've done a little bit of coaching. I coached a little league team for about 2 years, and it was a friend. It was for a friend. A friend owns a nonprofit here in Charlotte, and knew that I played ball in school and stuff, and so he was just like, "Hey, come teach the girls how to play softball."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you, as hard as it is to be a coach and to transition from you being a player yourself to coaching, I probably put the most stress on my husband because he also plays softball, right? But then,
Okay.
like, expecting or wanting him to be involved in what I'm in, even though like that's one of our similarities. One of the things that we both like we both like sports, and we both play softball. And for me to transition into coaching, I'm like, oh, this is a package deal. Like, I can get him to do this and I can get him to do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
and so I totally get that with you saying that, because I just thought, oh, well, we're married. Of course you're
Mm-hmm.
going to
Mm-hmm.
help me train these little girls how to do this. You know what I mean? And you don't realize how much stress or um, maybe even uncommunicated
Mm-hmm.
expectations you have
Yes,
of
very
those
good.
people in your life.
And investment, right?
Oh,
Investment.
yeah.
Because I mean, my sister's flying to the games, right? They're based in
Yep.
Florida, and he's at Jackson State, but then he played at he coached at other schools. So and my niece would go a lot as well. Sometimes with her mom, my sister to the games, and supporting him. So it's all of that. It's the financial investment, the emotional investment, him not being at home. I mean,
Yep.
honestly, some marriages would never survive what my and they going on 30 years, right? They celebrating 30 years in 2025. I mean, some marriages would not have made it year one or two. Certainly
Doc-
not year 5.
Dr. Crystal, my
Hmm.
kid was probably 4 or 5. She was too young to be on the team. I think we were 10U. She was too young to be on the team. But when I was coaching, I was not home doing homework, because
Hmm.
when I got off work, I had to go to the baseball field. I
Yeah.
had to go for practice. And I was dropping other people's kids off home, and my kid was home with her dad,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know?
Yes,
So
it's a
it does.
sacrifice.
What'd you say?
It's a sacrifice.
It is. It is. And so, yeah, it's a lot. You are right. Investment is the correct word. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, because I sort of felt like I was neglecting my own kid to be out here for hours at a time with other people's children.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's immeasurable
Right.
sacrifice, and
Yes.
yeah, it's a lot.
Which is why I was saying, and reminding him and inviting him, honestly, to just bathe in it, to just be present, because
Because
when
you earned it.
think of all of the the work, the sacrifice of late nights, early mornings. When he was a coach for a stint of years, at the high school. Like, he would bring the uniforms home to wash. Okay, let's just talk about some of the trench work. And my sister would be right there, helping to get things,
Yep.
the snacks, like all the things. And you're a coach, so you probably really gelling with all of this. You understand all
Listen.
of the things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Especially with a small league, a
Hmm.
startup. I was.
Fundraising piece, all the
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh,
yes.
of course I had to um get my husband's employer to donate money, and they did.
Yes,
So not
yes,
only am I having all of this expectations on him physically and emotionally and all of that, like I'm also like, and by the way,
yes.
tell your boss that I need $300.
Oh, you need a donation. Yay. Yeah, I get that. So do you still coach now?
I haven't done it in a while.
Okay.
It once I and this is the thing, going back to the leadership piece. Once I became a leader last June, I never realized how much of my time that would take, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
When you're an hourly employee, you work from 8 to 5 or
Mm-hmm.
9 to 6 or whatever the time frame is.
Yes.
You don't worry about what happens before you clock in, and you don't worry about what happens after you clock out.
Yes.
But when you are in leadership and you are salaried, you think that you have freedom, but you don't.
You don't. You do
You do
not.
not have freedom, because
No.
that just means that there is no limit or guideline as to when people can reach out to you. I supervise about 25 people. They have my cell phone number. And the fact that I have not been working for the past 3 weeks only because of a medical issue,
Yes.
I have only gotten like maybe 2 text messages out of that time,
Hmm.
is wild. Because normally, like when I took a week's vacation, they were texting me every day. Hey, LaShonda, I know you're on vacation, but can you do this? Can you find out about this? So and so did the, it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
Yes. Yes.
So saying all that to say, once I got this promotion into leadership and that changed, my status at work, it hasn't left time for a lot of other things.
That
This
is
is
so true.
this is probably the most rest,
Mm-hmm.
and I say rest in quotes because the only rest that I'm getting is because I had to have surgery. So tell
Yes,
me,
I
what
was
kind of
going to
rest?
say. Yes.
Yeah, what kind of rest is it
Right.
when
You have to have a medical procedure and whatever. Yeah, as you were saying, undiagnosed and all the things to get rest.
yes,
Yes. Yes.
and
Yes.
taking medication, and I was on live earlier and I had to get my stool because I was sitting down um in the bathroom while I was doing my skincare, because I was like, sometimes I'll go live and I find myself standing up the entire 2 hours, and I just
Yes.
can't do that.
No.
It's a
Yeah.
lot,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I think entrepreneurship is a lot like that too.
Oh,
Um,
it is. You think, and I say, and nicely, entrepreneurship is not for everyone,
yep,
Lashonda,
it's
because people
not.
say, "Oh, I have my freedom," or, I'm my own boss, or these things. And while that may be true, you don't work 8 to 5 in entrepreneurship until you find balance. And for me, I'm in year 19, right? So I'm
Yeah,
still, learning balance and the things. You are working 24/7. If you're
yep,
thinking about it, you're thinking about, and especially if you're a sole proprietor or single member LLC at first, which I was for many years.
hmm,
You're working on the business and you're working in the business, right? So you're doing the coaching, the training, putting together PowerPoints, sealing the deal, selling the contract, helping with the website, your
you
accounting.
are all of the departments.
You are all of the departments until such time, right, that you can build up to be able to, hire whether employee or, 1099 folks to help you. So
Yep.
yes, it is, it's a lot to handle. And the mental health and well-being can suffer, relationships, can be impacted, like all the things. And, over the years, I have found that my jam, and it's really honestly not even organizing, just finding out where I fit in and, like the vibe and building my tribe. I really mainly coach about 70%. I train and coach, write, and speak mainly to new and seasoned mid-level managers. I've done
Mm.
corporate, I've done church, I've worked with the railroad industry, I've worked in the banking industry. All on my niche is servant leadership. So I exclusively teach, train, write, coach, and speak on servant leadership.
Wow.
And so I have been in a variety of places, but where I feel I've made the most impact and can really relate is that mid-level manager, right? Because they're supervising people and they are being supervised.
Yep.
It's that middle person. I say middle man or middle woman, but middle person that is pulled between the two. And so, how can you manage that effectively? And I teach on emotional intelligence and the use of language and having like a proactive mindset versus reactive. And not to say that there's times that we have to be reactive, right? Because if there's a fire, if there's
Yeah.
danger, if there's something, we have to react. But just talking about how we approach every day. Are we leaning in? proactively, or is it always like a reactive mindset? And what that does, right, to our energy, our stress levels, how we show up at work. So it's been really fun, and I just feel like for me, that's where the magic sauce is, right? It's working with mid-level managers. So that's probably about 70% of my client base, honestly.
Listen, that is where it is needed, because you are absolutely right. Like, I have always soared when it comes to standing out and being a leader as just like a regular employee, because I'm one of those people that, I'm a hard worker, I'm dedicated, I might be late when I get there, but once
Uh-huh.
I'm there, you
Yes.
know, I am all the way there. I'm the last person to leave. It's so funny because now I work from home exclusively, but before the pandemic, I was going into an office and I had a
Yes.
later schedule, and I would be there when the cleaning crew would get there. Not one of those people who wouldn't leave until the cleaning crew. I knew his name, knew his wife, all of the things. And
Mm-hmm.
so um, now, it's a different thing working from home. That we could talk for hours about the differences in going into an office versus working
Yes,
from
we
home.
should plan to probably talk about that another time because there's a lot that we could unpack there.
Yes, let's do that. I really want to do that because I think people think working from home is so easy, and
Yes.
I have to sometimes remind my husband that even though I got this fuzzy sweater on or this fuzzy dress on, I'm
Yes.
working, sir.
Working. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with entrepreneurship. For me, like, just over the years too. Another added piece to that is that I took care of my mother and my father
Oh,
also at home. My mom's now been gone for 7 years, but my dad passed away 1 year on this past Thanksgiving. So I've come to a place of 23 years of caretaking, and my mom was at maximum assist level of
yeah.
caretaking. That piece and working from home, that family members, right? Oh, well, Crystal's at home; she can do it.
Yep.
No, no, I'm working. Whether it's a Zoom call, whatever, all the things. But there is that mentality. Oh, well, they're working from home. I was just talking with my sister earlier today, and she works from home now, basically since the pandemic. And they went into the office today, for a little bit, and just saying how she's so now used to 4 years of working at home, and she gets up early. So she works 4 a.m. to like 11 a.m., right?
Uh-huh.
So she gets up and then she has the rest of the day and pretty scheduled. She'll take a little nap if she needs to, but it really has shifted the workplace. And I talk about that in trainings. Two things: the remote work, and then the millennials in the workplace. And I'm telling you, I have trained on that since pandemic. I would add a piece because, wanting to upsell or to say, hey, how can we continue work together? I put a little piece in presentations, Shonda, about millennials in the workplace
Hmm.
and remote work. And do you know when I end that, I'm called back and they say, hey, Doc, come on back. We need you to come talk to us about remote work. We need you to come talk to us about millennials. Because one other thing I do, LaShonda, is when I finished my PhD, I made really 7 critical mistakes, right, in the journey. And I said, I'm going to turn back, and any person that comes to me, I'm going to help them. And so now I also edit dissertations. I've edited 40 since that have people have graduated, not like graduated, put the cap and gown on, and walked across the stage.
Wow.
So of recent, I've had 4 or 5 dissertations of people writing and talking about millennials in the workplace. And we should know the research. Workplaces, right? Organizations should become more aware because I know there's 2 camps that say, oh, millennials are lazy, or blah blah blah, they don't want to work or whatever. And some of that's true, right? We always have bad apples, as we were saying earlier, bad
Of
apples
course.
in the basket. However, like by 2027, 75% of the workplace will be millennials. So I'm saying to organizations, listen, you have to adapt. You have to listen. You have to understand because the baby boomers are gone. They retired and they leaving like
Yeah.
now. Been left and many are leaving. So the
Yes.
workplace is going to look very different.
Yep.
And I feel like organizations would behoove themselves to understand how the workplace is going to change, whether you're ready or not.
Yep.
Right? It's happening. And so, yeah, that I talk about, and that all usually generally works with my upsell or, being able to go back to the organization and talk about some more things, right?
Yeah.
Because I see that really so unprepared for understanding the millennial, right, in the workplace. So, yeah, I mean, there's so many topics we could talk about, LaShonda.
Yeah. I would love to do it. We'll have to get together and
Offline.
find out when we're going to do it. But I think it's such an important conversation because I think people who actually are still going out of the home to work or to make money, they
Yes.
don't quite understand the toll that it takes and the enmeshment that you have with your personal life and your professional life.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
and for me specifically, and I think even for a lot of Black women, because we just have added pressures and
Yes.
that whole intersectionality and everything, we just
Yes.
have so many things that impact us specifically. But I just don't think that they truly understand it. But I have had to make conscious efforts to be vocal to my husband and to my kid. Like I used to have my office out in the den area,
Yes.
and they were always just back and forth, back and forth. And especially since becoming a leader, I had to move my office
Yes.
bedroom behind a closed door, and I had to specifically say to my kid, if that door is shut, don't walk in here. Even if the door is open, you are not welcome to just walk in here because I might be on a call, I might be on Teams, I might be in a meeting where I'm on camera and whatnot. You can't
Yes.
do it.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, it has been such an adjustment for us, everyone, right,
Yeah.
to work from home and to understand what
Yeah.
those differences are. And I just was reading, because, a lot of companies, and I think on Facebook and just, some news I was looking at, a lot of companies are wanting and requiring, right, people to come back. And people are, I'm sure you may have heard the term quiet quitting at work.
Yep.
And
Yep.
some people are like, and especially millennials, if you tell the millennial that has been working from home, you understand, okay, now it's time to come back in 5 days a week, you are probably going to lose that millennial,
Yep.
right? Because they don't care. They'll find something else
Yep.
where they can do that. So anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting. That report actually just came. I heard that yesterday, and I was digging into that because I see some of the top corporate people are, corporations are now, wanting people to come back in full time 5 days a week.
Yeah, and a lot of people were averse to that, and especially so far away from the pandemic. I can't even believe it's almost 5 years since that was.
Oh, right.
People have been resisting that, and I'm so glad my company was one of those ones who finally got on board with. Because when we went back into the office, we went to being in the office full time. To okay, you guys, we've been hearing what you've been saying. We realized during the pandemic that our jobs can be done at home, so we'll have it where you only have to come in 2 days a week.
Yes.
And then it went to 1 day a week. And then they said, you know what, we can save a lot on this lease, a lot of money if we don't have this lease and all of this office equipment and all of the things.
Yes.
You guys have been doing all of this stuff at your home on your own internet with your own electricity, and they haven't had to contribute to any of that. You know what I mean? For
Yes.
some, the large majority of it. It's like, why are we doing this? They just came to the realization, like, economically, it's
Yes.
just better if we're not.
Yes. For them, but then also for us. I mean, you're having to get up, get dressed, put gas in the car, drive to work, be in traffic. So you're already frustrated by the time you get to work, right? Because you're in traffic. And then getting home, you got to run to the store. Then the kids got to go to events, like just all the things. There's going to be a lot of shifting. There has been, and it will continue to be a lot of shifting and understanding the new workplace, whether that's remote, telework, like all the things for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now, LaShonda, tell me on this, we're here and we've been sharing and talking, which I've totally enjoyed. It says 6 by my name on my little square here. What does that mean?
So that means that some people sent you some gifts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think you got some. Let me see. Will it show me? Let me try to send you some and see if that's what it is. I think that's
Okay.
what it is.
I've sent
Yeah.
some.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay,
So,
I need to figure out because I sent roses. I just got to the place where I understood I could send things, the roses, and people would send whatever. Excuse me,
Yeah.
different things. So and I see the rose, but then I also see the gift here, down at the bottom. So I'm just trying to figure out and understand that. Okay, now it went from 6 to 16. Oh my gosh.
Because I just sent you 10. So
Oh,
yes,
oh,
I wanted to see if that's what it was. That's exactly what it
yeah.
is. So that
Okay.
that converts to money. So
Lashonda, listen. This is a great Friday night. I just ended. Listen, Lashonda, hold on. Wait a minute. Let's take a pause here. I today I had one last client meeting earlier, and then my son told me, I said, then I have to cook because when he's at school in the dorms, I don't have to cook. I will eat hummus or some soup or a salad, something easy. He's home now for 5 weeks. Oh my gosh, I have to start cooking again. Anyway, I said, okay, Crystal, and it ties into our conversation. And we have a small home, so my office is in the front room, and so and I follow these folks and different people, and they're saying at home how you at the end of your day, right, close the computer down, straighten up your desk. It's kind of similar to what you would do if you were in a building.
yeah,
And I would at times. That's what I'm saying. I'm still learning balance. Been in 19 years, still learning balance. I would cook, and especially when my son was younger, and get him settled, then go back to the computer, take a nap, go back to the computer, get up at 3 a.m., start writing the grant proposal, write for 2-3 hours, get him off to school, take a nap, go back. It's ridiculous, Lashonda. And I said, Dr. Crystal Davis, ma'am, this is a no, and you have to get more balance. And I've been in therapy. I think Black people need to normalize therapy. We could put that as a theme for another conversation together. Anyway, I started following that where I would straighten up my desk, turn the computer down, shut it down, put the chair up, all the things, straighten it up, and move away from the laptop and my desk. And so I said that to say today, I said, okay, we have our last client. I used to never take not a real holiday as an entrepreneur, right? Because you're still checking emails, you're still thinking ahead, you're still playing all the things. And so I've gotten to a place, and I'm with a group of Black women where we talk about this, and it's been a blessing. And so I said, you know what, this holiday, 10 days or whatever, I will take a break. I'm going, if it's Netflix, if it's putting on my diffusers, like my candles, doing my incense, whatever, reading a book, washing my hair, laying on the couch, like laying on the couch. For me, my mind goes a million miles. Now you laying on this couch and you have 11 things to do. And I'm really working on stopping what I call monkey chatter, right, in your mind. Crystal, enjoy this. And then my son, so we've gotten to this thing and he said last night, okay, Mom, I'm home. Let's pick a good movie or whatever series on Netflix or wherever, somewhere, and watch it together. So I have leaned into that because it was something, and it is something. Before now, Lashonda, I would never, I would look at you like, waste time watching TV? Are you kidding me? And shifting that mindset and seeing this is quality time with my son. We sitting here eating popcorn, we're joking around, we talk about school, like all the things, girls, all that, sex, money, drugs. Like, listen, my son can talk to me about everything. We need to be open and transparent about things. He just turned 21, so we're shifting into still parenting, right? Always parenting, but more coaching. Okay, so what the decision is what? What is the advantage of that? What's the disadvantage of that choice, right? Yeah. And, allowing that, which is new because parents, it is a shift, right? And when they become 21, young people, you have to, so I'm engaging in some of that and learning. And because my mom was very old school, right? She come from the Black Baptist church, very strict. We lived in church, me and my twin sister and 2 brothers. So how my parents and probably yours raised us and how we are raising it. And you got babies, I'm saying babies, but younger than Elijah. The world will change even more, right? By the time they become teenagers and young people. And we didn't have cell phones. Come on, LaShawn, I was sneaking on, talking to my boyfriend on the landline. And
exactly. I'm old enough. I'm a Gen Zer. I'm not a millennial. I'm a Gen Z. Gen Zer? No, I'm a Gen Xer. I was born
X. We're Z and you're X. Okay, yes.
Yeah, I'm a Gen Xer. So I was here for the pre-cell phone era. Yes. I was here for the cell phone era, and I'm here for the social media era.
Yes.
So I've been. It's like I've lived 300 years.
Right. Yeah, I know. And Elijah, even like with the cell phone, my nephews, the one I'm talking about, my brother-in-law, and those in Florida. We were debating. I think he got his cell phone at 12, and Elijah was 10 or whatever. and I wanted the cell phone, and I said, well, you better call your auntie. And, no, he doesn't need the cell phone, and this all the things happening at schools across the country, and this all the things. He did get one early, right? And now I see babies in Dollar Tree. Let me just say, because that's where I'm. Baby, 3 years, 1 year, they got their parents' phone, right? And they're playing the little games and all the stuff for babies, but see how they're all already acclimated, right, to cell phones and technology and all the things. So it's a different world, and we have to. I have some traditional things, right, that our mom raised us on, and and I love them. And then some things, LaShonda, I let go, right? So it's just about the balance of that. Because our mother was strict now, the old school Baptist lady. And so very strict, especially on the girls. And I have a boy. And it just, some of those things they don't work anymore. So you have to adjust. Yeah.
You
So
do.
it's a learning thing.
You do have to adjust. I am the eldest daughter, so I am and just the eldest child. Period. So
Yes.
I have a brother, and it's funny you say you have a twin, but I have twin sisters
Yes.
who are 40. So all of us are now in our 40s.
Yes.
But I was raised by a single mom, and so my upbringing has been a little bit different because I was the boss as the eldest daughter, right?
Yes.
Like, I was
Yes.
responsible for everybody else. I'm gonna tell you one thing that helped me shift from the mindset that I'm everybody's boss or I'm responsible for everybody is being married to a baby, being married to somebody's baby. My husband is the youngest of 3, and one of the things that I love about his family is they still treat him like a baby, and some of that I get via proxy,
Yes.
So
Yes.
like I get to relax when I'm at his mom's house. I don't have to worry about helping cook or clean or buying anything. I get to sit around and act like I'm married to somebody's baby. And I love it.
Yeah, because that doesn't hardly happen.
It doesn't.
I'm like you were saying, Sharon. I'm also a solo parent, and so raising a man child, as many say, is interesting because you have, and I have colleagues that are everybody's different ethnicities and backgrounds and whatnot, and that just quite don't understand raising a African American young man today, right? So it's all the things, and so it was very a core goal of mine and passion to create this very transparent, because we were a bit scared of our mom, right? Because she's very strict and very demanding, which is I think perfectionism and all that, because mom required, demanded, right? And I don't want to say perfectionism, it's surely not blaming my mom or anything like that, but I can definitely see where my sister and I got some of those traits, right? Because and we used to, you're a teenager and like, I hate that, blah blah blah. And now I am, at 55, LaShonda, and I was just kind of reflecting the other day. I do thank God for mom, and some of it was strict, and some of it maybe was even mean, all the things. But she was only trying to prepare us, and from her perspective and concept that she had at the time, right? And so there's some forgiveness there, there's some healing there. And that happened with me, 23 years of taking care of my mother, and the role switch, right? From my mom being the mother to me, kind of like a parent role, in a sense, and being a watchdog, right, for my mom with Medicaid, with people knocking on the door, selling the wheelchair, selling the bed, selling the everything. And I'd say at times, I had to be a poodle. And then other times I had to be a pit bull, LaShonda, and I'm here for it. Trust me on that. I'm here for it, because what you're not going to do. And then what I noticed, and was, somewhat sad, is that many people, like in nursing homes and elderly, who don't have, in-laws or daughters or sons to take care of them, how they suffer, LaShonda. I'm telling you, I've seen my eye full of it. And there's days I was devastated and crying, because how the elderly, what I seen and what I experienced. And that further made me like, oh no, well, it's not going to happen to my mom. And anybody that came around me that I cared for or could help advocate for, I would, right?
I only have one kid, and she's 15.
Yes.
And I wanted a boy when I was pregnant. And I'm actually glad and grateful that I have a girl, because I don't know who my son would be considering my upbringing. I was a strong-willed child, but I was also um, sheltered a lot.
Hmm.
And so I've had to unlearn a lot of stuff. And
Yes.
so I don't, and now, mind you, my husband grew up with both his parents. They were married for until his dad died. And even my mother-in-law to this day, she's remarried and has been married for a little while.
Yes.
So he's only ever known parents that are in a relationship, you know, like in a in-house and all of that.
Yes.
So I don't know who my son would be. And as much as we would like to think that we raise our children similarly, you can have 3 or 4 kids in the same house and they're not going to get the same parent.
That is a word right there. I'm telling you, 'cause we have 4 different personalities and 4 levels of
Yeah.
accomplishment and 4 levels of understanding and 4 levels of, differentness. So that is, extremely true.
And gender plays a lot in that. You
Yes.
said it, because there are certain things and expectations that are put upon eldest daughters, and there are just things that are put upon women in general, girls and women in general, that men aren't raised with. And so that has created some strife in my marriage. That has created some issues in my relationships, because I'm like, hey, just because you're a man don't mean you can't do that. Or just because I'm a girl doesn't mean that I can't do that. So
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
it's a whole thing. So yeah, you definitely have to create your own existence and world. You
Mhm.
can't go on how somebody else was raised. You can take what is this saying? Eat the meat and spit out the bones.
Mhm. Mhm.
You have to take bits and pieces from the lives of others and how you were raised in your life, and help create the life that you really
Yes.
want.
Absolutely. And that takes, that's not easy, Lashonda. It's not easy.
It's
And
not.
I think, a lot of people are, maybe aren't good with that, learning, failing, growing, trying to figure it out. Because it's not an easy feat, and you have to be. I think, and what I've tried to do, and still learning, is being very intentional about that. But the journey, I think, of caretaking for my mom halfway helped me learn that. Right, I don't think I would have learned that, and so much more. Listen, so
Yeah.
much more by the journey of honoring my parents, taking care of them, understanding Medicaid, understanding life insurance, like all the things. And I didn't know when I first, after I was at Morris Brown down in Atlanta, mom had the first series of strokes, and I came home to Kansas. My whole journey, which sitting here talking to you today and saying 23 years, right, that I took care of my parents, and my mom mostly because she was ill,
Yeah.
many of those years. How I have grown up as a person, as a woman, as a Black woman, because there's some things that happen and relate just to being an African American woman raising my mom, and then my son coming along and being a solo parent. Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot of wisdom and experience that you learn, and you get over the years through that, and so
There's so many seasons of your life that you have better understanding of things. My understanding of who my 17-year-old mother was when she got pregnant with me is different when I was 20,
yes.
when I was 30, after having a kid, after getting
Mhm.
married, and now in my 40s, and her being in her 60s and having, health challenges and things like that. Iyanla Oprah and Iyanla had this master class on TV years ago, and they had this. They were in the audience talking to this lady and her daughter, and this daughter was like really upset because she couldn't understand why her mom couldn't be the person that
She wanted her
she
raised.
wanted her to be.
Mhm.
And Iyanla talked to this young girl, and she said, "I need you to repeat after me." And she said something to the effect of, "I know you did your best, but your best wasn't good enough." She had the young girl tell her mom that.
Yes.
And I think a lot of us deal with that. And
Mhm.
while it is healing to understand who they were, how they were raised, and how that impacted who you were and how they raised you, it is also healing to come to the realization that even though they may have had all of these trials and tribulations or obstacles in their way, which made them be and do the things that they did when you were a kid or even when you were an adult, you can still say, I'm sorry, but it wasn't good enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, and I know you were doing the best that you could. I know that's the capacity of what you have, but I needed more.
Yes, and being able to, yes, absolutely. I went through that journey. I feel like, even with my mother, and throughout this, process of taking care of her, I was grown, like, in my 30s, coming to that recognition. And then, mom was spent some years, the end part of the years in the nursing home because they took her leg due to diabetes. I was still working and had Elijah, and all the things. And reading her journal, that probably was the most healing thing for me, LaShonda. I mean, sitting here even saying that to you and, going through the house and getting things organized, and all the things when mom went and, going through paperwork and all the things, I said, oh my gosh, I have spent so many years, like, whatever, mad or blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And then reading that, I mean, I don't know, I probably cried for days. And this has been some years now, but I probably cried for days. Like, I have been blaming for what I think she should have done, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
When I read that, and I was like, baby, she was doing the best that she could. And she put some personal stories and things, in there. And so when I got that understanding as an adult woman, I went through a phase of, kind of beating myself up, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you, and now, I mean, today, as we're reflecting and talking on that, I understand, healing has occurred, which is great for me and a blessing because now at this stage in my life, and I've been kind of reflecting, turned 55 last month. Me and my twin sister, we went on a cruise and what our girlfriends had a good time and everything. I'm just reflecting on, many 23 years of my life, LaShonda, in caretaking my parents. They're gone. I feel like that was my assignment from God. That assignment is complete. And so now I'm like, in a sense, who am I? Because I became my mom. I mean, advocating for her.
Don't we all?
That, like, and I mean, I would be on the phone, like we were dealing with a whole credit card situation, right, with my mom. And I would call, and it would be so funny. Now, my mom was 87 when she passed. And I, when we were going through getting credit cards straightened out and all the things, I would say I was my mom, say her birth date, social security number. Do you know they never questioned me? And no one ever said, now, lady, you don't sound like you're 75 years old, right? And so I'm in that sense, you take on, I'm saying, that identity in the sense of, again, advocacy, working on behalf of your parents and protecting them also in a sense.
Yeah,
I know one time my mom said, and we were talking and was kind of helping her get some things done that, she could no longer do on her own. And she just kind of leaned on my side and said, I'm sorry. And I tell you, those words were so healing for me. Like, I'm trying to keep it together, even saying this. Like, it was all those years, LaShonda, of the feelings and of the everything.
Yeah.
In that very moment was so healing. And I reflect on that. And even now, as I was saying, in this kind of reflective mode of this next season of my life, right, is going to be the best season of my life. Like, what's my next chapter like? My son has 1 year of school and he'll have his bachelor's. We're doing some things in the business that are going to take us to the next level. So I really have been reflecting on, that assignment, which took up, a lot of my time, and effort and energy. And now that went down to zero, like basically, still finishing up some things with with my family's home and some of the things from my dad. Because he has biological children, and that could be a whole nother, discussion. And so, like, what's next for me? And I'm really in a place where it's all about me, LaShonda.
Don't
listen,
blame
I
you.
don't
It needs to
care.
be
I don't. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say. Like right
main
now,
character energy, Dr. Crystal.
yes, I am about to live my. Not that I haven't been living my best life. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is now I can focus really on me.
You have an
Um,
adult son. You don't have anybody really that you have to take care of on a
yes,
day basis like you were taking care of your
yes,
mom. Yeah, and it should be. And I'm gonna tell you, I hate that we have to have come to that realization later in life. Like I would
yes,
love for us to do it when we are spry and able to like do more
yeah.
things. But I mean, it's never over until they close the casket. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not over.
Yeah,
So, and
yeah,
I wish a lot of people would think like that too, because I think some people get old or something will happen to them and they just feel like it's over for me. And it's
yes.
like,
It's
no, it's
over.
not over.
No, no, it's not over. And for even for me on social media, for instance, I was in a live with a lady, and I think she said she was 79. And I am telling you, fabulous. And she was telling the young lady like this. She had some guests,
Yeah.
on with her, and she was just so just first of all cute as a button. Okay, cute with her little gray hair and her makeup, just cute as can be, and just you could feel the energy and the vibe of her just saying, I am having the time of my life on
Yeah.
TikTok. First of all, I didn't even know what social media was. Okay. Just I think she's been on 3 months. And, those, girls and ladies that have just come to her aid, just helping her understand and being supporting her. And you could tell she is having the time of her life. She was saying yesterday, it was funny, we had to chuckle. She gets up to do her spiritual things in the morning. And she said, I done got to the point I done had so much fun. I this morning I almost for skipped my spiritual because I wanted to reach for the phone and get on TikTok. And she said, I had to say to myself, no, get up and do your
Yeah.
stuff and put your little makeup and earrings on and then get on there. But I love that for her. I love that for her.
I am in awe of our seniors who can not only be on social media, but in the workplace too. Those
Mm-hmm.
people that are able to move right along with any changes
Yeah,
that
move right
happen
along.
in these companies, that they're able to maneuver multiple screens on a computer. They
Mm-hmm.
can, do all of the applications that all of us, a little bit younger and even younger than me, people can
Mm-hmm.
do. They can do. I'm always in awe of that because I know and I have seen people who can barely operate a phone.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know?
Yes, and I have some, elderly and our elders. I like to refer them in our legacy people. I refer to them
Yeah.
as people that know it well. I mean, my one friend, just a friend of our family and a kind of a mentor to me, turned 91, and he can pretty effortlessly figure out his iPhone, and now got me. So he loves jazz and music. And I have like jazz going 24/7 in his house. Like jazz music is always on. And now he has recently switched from, CDs to Apple Music. And I mean, you
Mhm.
can't tell him nothing. You cannot tell him a thing. You
Yeah.
can't tell him a thing. And so I just, I love that because I love, that there are our elders who are embracing it, right? So much as they can, right? And so much as they enjoy it and can get it. And so it's really, I think fantastic.
I think keeping up with some things, they don't have to keep up with all
Yeah,
the
with
things,
everything,
but
right?
keeping up with some of the things, I think that keeps your mind sharp as well.
Yes,
Just
yes,
kind of
yes,
staying in the mix. And even for me, because I consider myself to be pretty proficient with a lot of things,
yes,
but
yes,
I know, and I am not under the delusion that I know everything because I got a 15-year-old and she knows that I'm on social media on multiple pages and her cousins have helped her escape my vision. You hear what I'm saying? Like they know all of the tricks, tips and tricks of
mm-hmm,
not letting your mom see your content.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm
mm-hmm,
saying?
yes,
So like that lets me know that I don't know everything,
mm-hmm,
So,
yes,
I
yes,
gotta now I have my ways,
mm-hmm,
because I
mm-hmm,
have my little fake pages and things like that too that I can
yes,
go and like search for but I'm just saying like
yes,
it's so amazing. You can do it to whatever extent you want. I'm awful grateful that you got on here because I didn't know this
Oh,
live started out very light. Like there weren't very many people, and there still haven't really been a whole lot of people in here. I
yeah.
can see
I
people.
consider it practice, thank God. I mean,
Yeah,
for me,
that,
like,
that's exactly like for me. Even if it's just you and I in the room
yes,
talking, like for me, it's valuable.
it's
For me,
very
I feel like
valuable.
I have met a kindred spirit. I met someone who I feel like I can glean from,
Yeah.
and somebody that I can also show some things to. So
Yes,
having a mutual relationship like that, I definitely would want to
that's
stay in
gold,
contact.
right? That's gold.
Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely, absolutely. So we definitely have to stay contacted. The next time I see you in my library, if I see you, like I'm definitely gonna be in there,
Yes. So
talking.
now let me ask you, because do I hit subscribe here so that how can I keep you?
As
I
long
know,
as
of course,
as
follow
long as
you.
you're following me, as long
Okay.
as you're following
Now
me,
let
you
me
will
make
get
sure I'm
notifications.
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you are.
Okay.
As long as you're following me, the you will get notifications when I go live. And what I'll try to do is when I'm live, I'll share it with you in your DMs. That way you can just click on it and find me. But a good way to do is like at the top of your screen, like when you're just scrolling on TikTok, it'll show
Yeah.
you who's live there, and so you can
Okay.
look
Oh,
for
that's
me.
right. I think I have seen that. Okay. So
Yeah,
Lashonda team. Okay, what should I do? Oh, and this is for points or whatever. Add a comment, send
yeah.
gift, send a heart. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So I appreciate you. This has been a wonderful
It's been
conversation,
wonderful.
and this
Listen,
is
I want
all
to
I
say
wanted.
thank you. It was like just on the cuff, off the cuff, I guess.
Yeah,
And I kind of panicked in the beginning, but look at God. It worked out just beautiful.
perfect,
And I feel
actually.
even better. I have even more, some level of comfortability now. Like, okay, we just had good conversation.
You have the
Practice for
skills.
me.
You have the skills. You have been doing
Hmm.
this for all of your adult life. You know
Yes.
how to do this. You just
Listen.
need to learn the application. That's
Yes.
it. This
Yes.
application, TikTok. That's it.
Yes, and well, now I have you, and of course, my sister's been helping. My son's helped me here and there. I don't know. He gets tickled like, "Mom, you don't know what you're doing." Well, I don't, but I'm having fun.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, you wouldn't believe, even if you think that people aren't watching or people like sometimes I go live and there's like maybe less than 5 people in there, maybe not even then. And you would be surprised who will go back and watch stuff that I post or stuff that
Okay.
people post. So continue to post the stuff. Don't worry about your views so much.
Yes.
Be consistent. You got that. Be disciplined with it, and you're gonna see the results of that. You're gonna
The
see
fruits of the labor.
the
Yes.
fruits of the labor. That's exactly what I was trying to say. You're going to see that because I have people that they may not come and get in my live. They may not even send me a DM, but they will call me on the phone and say, "Hey, LaShonda, I see that you're doing this," and you go, "How do I do that?" They
Hmm.
will call me on the phone and ask me questions about some of the things that they have seen me do, or they know that I know how to do.
Hmm.
So to me, that shows my value. So
It
you,
does, and to me, I almost feel comfortable. I'm saying starting small. What I mean is, to get that level of comfort, and because I've been in some rooms, and I'll tell you what, because one lady said TikTok is ADD on 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 drugs because it's just and I get it,
yep.
but like I was sharing with my sister, I said I can't hardly keep up with the run. The thing is going so fast. People are saying, "Hey, I got you, I got you." I was like, "Well, where did they go? What happened? You got to touch them." Like, I was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is driving me bananas." Those lives where the
Well,
comments
there's like a
just,
lot of people in
oh my
there.
gosh,
Yeah.
yes,
I
it's,
almost prefer this. I almost prefer
yeah.
small numbers of people in there where you can kind of because you can always go and scroll up and see what somebody previously said and whatnot.
Yeah, I just learned that, right? So I didn't know that. So I thought it's gone forever. I can't get it back. But my sister just said, no, you can scroll.
Yeah.
But it's more. I feel like it's more intimate, and yes, it's us, but not millions, whatever, thousands of people. Like we're sitting on the couch, right, just having a conversation. Hmm.
And one thing that I have learned in from this live specifically is I didn't need like I was trying to have multiple people up at one time. But I think probably the next time I do it, I'll just do like one guest at a time because I didn't need to have all of this extra space, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I was trying to bring somebody else up too at the same time, and I don't think they accepted the invitation or whatever. But the next time I do something like that, specifically probably with you, when we talk about the work from home versus in the office work and the difference between that, is I'll just do the one where you just have one guest versus
Okay, so you can add the 6 squares or 5 squares. Okay, well, and I've seen one or two of those, and you know, Shonda, it's almost kind of like Zoom.
yeah,
And for people who don't know Zoom etiquette. Okay, now you would think by now, right? We would all understand Zoom etiquette, but then I've been on just I think one or maybe two lives where it was a lot of guests, right?
yeah,
And it's hard, right? Because people are talking over one another. You know, there's background noise, like, you know, all the things. And I was like, this would be a great conversation. But, you know, I can't hear her. Or, you know, somebody got something going about, like all the things. So, and they're probably learning too. And so, you know, you give them
just
grace. But
right. But just like Zoom, as the host, right, I can
yeah.
mute people. I
Yes,
can
and
go
so you got to
through.
do that, yeah, and stay on top of that so you can your life can be enjoyable. Because otherwise, like me, once it gets out of control, I gotta leave. Like it's too much.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. I like following the people that I follow, but sometimes I have to give myself a limit of how long I can be in their lives
That's it.
because
Mm-hmm.
like some of it is community stuff, right? Like some of it
Mm-hmm.
is, talking about gender. Some of it is talking about, racism and things like, and that those topics can get a little bit heavy sometimes. I want to be in there. I want to hear the latest. I want to know what's going on in the world and in my community. But sometimes, and I think you were saying this earlier, sometimes I don't want to be at my best. Sometimes I just want to dumb out
Mm-hmm.
and, watch somebody pop pimples
Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
watch a show on Netflix that has absolutely no value to
Right,
what
like what I'm watching right now. I'm watching From, by the way. Let me just be authentic about that. And I was like, okay, this is kind of otherworldly and whatever, but some of it piques my interest because I kind of like some of that stuff. And so you're right. It's okay, and we're on all the time, right? It's not,
all
and
the
as an entrepreneur, let me just say, you on all the time, and
all
I just don't want to be on all the time, and I don't want to be on all the time on TikTok. I want to have fun. I want to listen to fun stuff. I want,
yeah.
the things that are.
I'm gonna end it with this. One of the things that I used to lead with growing up and in my young adulthood is I wanted people to know how smart I am. And
Mhm.
I hated when someone would come to the realization later on in our relationship, oh, you're actually smart. Oh, oh my God, I can't believe you're actually articulate. You're actually, the actually
Mhm.
used to just bug the crap out of me, because it's like, so you thought I was a dummy? Like, I don't, it was a
Right.
problem. So I would always lead with all of these things. But I'm going to tell you something that I've been learning. Sometimes it's just wise to just sit back and like observe. And I am an observer. And I like doing that a lot more now. But I also sometimes just want to be the fun girl. Like sometimes I just want to be the girl who
Mhm.
sits there and listens and just laughs. And that I don't always have to be the serious girl. I don't
Mhm.
always have to lead with my intellect or lead with, those things. That can come out because I know stuff.
Mhm.
But sometimes I
That's
just
really
want to,
good.
yeah,
That is so good. I mean, that's a great, to me, parting kind of thought, for our conversation because and that's what I'm learning too, even more because around me and family and those around me, that there's a bar, right, and an expectation. And I've met that most of my life, Lashonda,
yeah, yeah,
consciously, subconsciously, directly, indirectly. And this space, like, the TikTok and the Dollar Tree and all that, it's great and it's fun. But what it really, see, when we peel back the onion, what it's really done for me is allow me to whatever, not be that crystal or set that crystal down or whatever, put her aside for a while and just enjoy some fun stuff. Enjoy my sister. Like our relationship has even gotten more, even more since we've been doing the Dollar Tree and TikTok thing and talking to each other and
Yep.
learning TikTok and her even feeling good. Like now I'm teaching the good doctor something, right? And
Yes.
I love that for me. I love that for her and for us, for our relationship, because we crazy and be talking crazy, laughing, and
Yeah.
sister, do this, and sister, remember to do that. Good morning, sister. What you doing? And so I love that. That has really, it helped our relationship. Not that it was bad. It's just taken our relationship even to another level because I think my sister in ways, right, feels validated. Like, oh yeah, well there's some stuff we can teach the good doctor. Well, absolutely,
Oh, let me look
absolutely.
and it's that. It's
Hmm.
that because especially being the eldest daughter, especially being I call it I have a group on Facebook called Pioneers because, you know, as the oldest child, whether you're a man or woman,
Hmm.
being the oldest child, there are certain expectations being the eldest, but
Yes.
specifically eldest daughters
Yes.
that aren't put upon second borns and subsequent borns,
I
right?
have heard that a lot. I've heard that all the time.
Yes. And so you always are walking into a room where people expect you to know everything or know a lot
Hmm.
and be one of the
Hmm.
movers and shakers or hosts of
Yes.
the room. And
Right.
it's often nice to be in a room where maybe possibly you aren't the smartest person,
Yeah.
because what is that quote? It's like, if you are the smartest person in the room, you need to find another room.
To find another circle, another tribe, another village.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm smart enough to know that I don't know everything. And so I want to know more things and I want to know wider things and I want to have different dynamics of people in my life, and I don't want everybody to look at me and like, "Oh, let me put myself together because LaShonda's here. Let
Yes.
me cross my legs and be quiet." I want to be in the room where people are laughing out loud and being awkward and I want to be that too.
I love it so much, and that is so perfect. So thank you for that invitation and reminder, because this has been such a blessing. Like you have no idea the blessing this
To
conversation has.
me as well. To me as well. It was such joy to have you on today, Dr.
And
Crystal.
that I just even stepped out to do it because I did have a quick like
Yes.
3 second panic mode, like oh my, because my sister got invited to a live, but it was showing her face, and I remember, and my sister is shy, also Scorpio, but and
Yeah.
way more versed in this than me, and she was like, sister, she invited me, and she said I had to hurry up and go in the room and put my headband on and put because I said, and so then, that's what the background I had when you invited me. And I was like, oh no, I'm looking crazy. I got to run back to the room. And then when it says audio only, I said, phew. So,
Listen, you- that is my naivete with some, like, I don't know everything. It was me preventing you from showing your face. I realized that as we went along in there, I had to unmute or allow you to show your camera.
okay,
And
you
I didn't do that. So that's why it said audio only for you. I
listen,
had to
God is always protecting us.
exactly.
Protecting you when you don't know. Just always looking out. Thank you. Thank you. Because I'm looking a hot mess. But now that I know, and we will engage and do some more stuff together,
Yes.
then I will be prepared. Nonetheless, it has been a blessing. Sometimes it's just the impromptu, right? That is the
Yes.
blessing.
For sure, for sure. Thank you so much for joining my
Yeah,
live.
thank
I
you, thank you, thank
appreciate it.
you.
I hope we can, be in each other's life for real, like, connect on a deeper level. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for
Everybody in
the
the
stars and gifts. Yeah, thank you.
yeah, and for everybody that's already in, let me see if I'm gonna take you off.
Okay.
And then oh, there we go. All right. Listen, that was such a wonderful conversation with Dr. Crystal. Oh, Dr. Crystal, that was wonderful. Thank you so much for adding to my live. Let me see. I'm going to try to take this guest thing off. Now, how do I do that? Now, see, this is where I be learning, Dr. Crystal and everybody in here. Let me take it off. Can I? Oh, and it does show me where I could have
just changed it automatically. See, you learn stuff. You learn. All right, now let me figure out how to close it where it's just me. I don't know how to do it. Oh, see, that's a different layout right there. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Oh my goodness. All right, so let me just end the live because I don't know how to take it off of this thing now. Dr. Crystal, it's so funny. Oh my God. How do I see? I have to learn these things. That's why going live and just trying things out is so key. All right. At any rate, thank you to all of you guys who've tuned in. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Crystal. Thank you so much to Junior. I think he joined earlier. And I am going to say goodnight to everybody.